Well, boys, just when you think that it wouldn't happen again, it happened again. Another ridiculous, massive comeback by the Indiana Pacers against one of the greatest teams of all time. Who would have thought?
I hate basketball. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, my man definitely got PTSD from that.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Anthony is
But
a depressed Knicks fan.
The crazy thing is that when they missed the shot, I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, they're gonna look for Hallie, and I was like, oh, that's going. I was like, that's going. I was like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's going in. The shot went off so clean. I'm like, he's not missing that.
It actually didn't go off that clean.
It didn't.
I mean,
yeah.
it was
He
kind of
like
got a good look.
He kind of like double clutched in the air, and then let it go off.
It should be OKC 2-0, but it's 1-1 because of that.
look,
game
man,
2 was a rap show.
Well, look, it is what it is, man. You know, sometimes basketball has its crazy things, and OKC did this already, regarding the Nuggets series, and they've had bad losses throughout the season, but we'll talk about them in just a little bit. Obviously, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, the tier lists are back. So I think the last time we did one, we did every playoff X factor, so all the role players and bench players, guys that typically are in playoff rotations, we put into a tier list based off of how impactful they are. And today, we got the star players because, we wanted to get a bit more of a sample size for them later on in the playoffs. And since, we only got a week left in the season, we might as well do this now. And look, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be critical on these because these are the best players in the league. So we have to be harsh on their performances for every round. And obviously, we'll kind of talk more about that as we kind of get in. But I'm really just enjoying the Knicks fan trauma right now. It's really, it's really warming my heart.
I mean, the trauma's gone because Tibbs is gone. It's a new regime. So I'm happy for next season. It just depends if we're going to have Gio coach the team or an actual head coach that wants to interview.
Gio, what's your coaching philosophy like?
Yeah, so I'm all about defense. I think defense wins championships. Unfortunately, Tibbs, he's known for his defense, but didn't really come through this year. I think I could do a better job than Tibbs.
Yeah, but for some reason, like you said, defense wins championships. That just kind of reminds me of the Luka trade. Are you going to trade Jalen Brunson?
I am going to not trade Jalen Brunson.
I've heard the story all before. Gio's not hired.
I'm not what?
You're not hired.
Yes, I am.
That's it. No.
I don't know.
Imagine.
That would be interesting.
Gio, could you imagine Shams was like Gio's coaching?
Right.
Breaking at a massive turn of events.
I would literally unfollow Shams.
It's not his fault.
I'm about to hack Shams' account just to do that.
Like the Luka trade.
Giovanni Squinteri has been hired as the New York Knicks head coach from here on out.
We're waiting for that.
So, But yeah, obviously, we're going to get into the tier list. We're going to talk about the final series, and we got a bunch of other news stuff to talk about. So if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. You're on audio platforms, wherever you get your podcast. Give us 5 stars, leave a review, answer the polls. Social in the description. Give Gio 1 million Instagram followers. And also in the pinned comment below, join our Discord server. And hopefully at some point we'll be back streaming soon. We've had some scheduling conflicts. We're getting this out a little bit late, obviously. This episode's coming out on Friday. So, it is what it is. Scheduling things happen. We move. So, we'll have our first, 45 minutes to an hour-ish of other segments. So, guys, do we have anything else to say before we kind of dive right in?
Let's roll.
Alrighty, boys. We've reached the end point of the season. Let's talk about the NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and my hot take prediction, the Indiana Pacers. I still cannot believe I called these guys to go to the finals all these months ago. It's actually diabolical. But, shout out Legend of Winning. He reposted the tweet from last week. Huge W. We'll put his links down in the description. If you don't know who he is, you live under a rock, Gio. So, go subscribe to all his channels. He's got like 3 or 4 different ones. So shout out, bro. But let's talk about the finals. We'll go through each game. Obviously, we're recording this on Thursday right now, or Wednesday, sorry. It'll be a time travel episode for Game 3. You'll get a reaction the next day, and then we'll send you back to our later segments. So let's start with Game 1, the ultimate feel-out game. Pause, I guess, in certain circumstances. But, Game 1 is where you find out everything about a series, how it's going to be, what matchups you're going to look for, wherever you want to go. And Game 1, as we mentioned in the intro, Wenger did it again. The Thunder dominated basically the entirety of the game, but they were never able to pull away by the 20 or 30 points like they were able to do against Minnesota, like they were able to do against Denver, and obviously against Memphis because, for lack of better terms, they were awful. So the Pacers kind of kept it within 15 games, and I tweeted midway through the second quarter, I said if the Pacers can just play damage control until the fourth quarter, they have a chance to win the game.
You tweeted that?
Yes.
You're insane. This guy, man.
I mean, based off of the previous 15 games they played, it's not that impressive.
But still.
Right. They just got to play damage control. Don't let the lead blossom to 25 or 30.
Right.
Keep it at 20 at most.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the Knicks come back from 20 at least 47 and a half times.
Yeah.
So the fourth quarter comes around. The Thunder's offense completely goes away after they basically forced the Pacers into 20 turnovers in the first half. And the Pacers just seemed to, shore themselves up. They just kept chipping away as they got down to the end. It was a 1-point game. SGA had the ball with about 10 seconds left, and he clanked a mid-range. And then Tyrese Halliburton, for the fourth time this playoffs, hits a game winner in the playoffs. It's
crazy.
actually insane.
Yeah.
So, and the Pacers wound up winning the game 111 to 110, taking game one. We'll talk about game two in a bit. Let's talk about game one. Let's go to Antoine first because we're going to out this boy here. He said the Pacers were frauds at halftime after they were down by 15 points and responded up saying, I hate basketball.
Knicks fan.
So, Antoine.
Can we put that group chat conversation in this pod? That would be hilarious.
We can. It's already on my Twitter.
It is? Okay.
Yeah, I literally posted it with no context at all.
Yeah.
So, Antoine, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I mean, I sent over the turnover ratio, which was 24-6, of course, favoring OKC. But, of course, they didn't capitalize on those points off the turnovers, which is the biggest problem. I mean, I was watching the whole game. The Indy comeback, I guess, was predictable for my end just because how OKC was in the last, quarter and a half.
Yeah.
It was a kind of all around poor shooting performance from the Pacers, not really high scoring. OKC mainly just SGA. Chet disappointed me. I was really upset with what he did.
I mean, Pacers shot well from the field. I think they shot 47%.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
From three.
Just not a lot of made shots. The most was 7. And that was Siakam.
Right.
And that was it. Yeah, and then, of course, the rebounding numbers looked good for Nesmith, Siakam, Turner, Halley, and then Obi Toppin showed up, which I love, in game one. 5 threes.
He settled himself well because he was god-awful in the first half.
That's what everyone was saying, yeah. So the 5 threes are critical for Obi.
Critical.
Obi's not really, he had 3-point shots that were, really good for the Knicks, and we kind of figured all right, he can shoot 3, but sometimes he clanks it really bad.
Yeah,
right.
And now I'm sure he's improved that because clearly he did in this game. 5 threes is great for him. 15 points off the bat.
Would you even consider him a 3-point shooter?
Yeah. No, he's. I mean,
that's what he does for the Pacers.
When he was a Knick,
I feel like he's more
when he was a Knick,
fast break.
Yeah, when he was a Knick, we weren't really looking. It was nice to see him shoot. But like I said, he would clank ones really bad.
Right.
And we were concerned stop shooting the 3, just drive. You're 6'7", 6'8", and you can dunk. But yeah, just all around OKC just defensively broke down in the fourth half. Not fourth half. Oh my god. Second half, fourth quarter. And I feel like they just took the foot off the gas a little bit. Too comfortable. And then,
I don't think so.
I mean, a little bit too comfortable sometimes. Outside of SGA, you didn't really have a lot of scoring coming from the guys. Starting, I guess Caruso will get into him a little bit. Phenomenal all around.
He's always good.
Yeah.
Switching out our Hartenstein as well, not starting, and putting in Kason is a little strategic for them because iHeart can't shoot free throws. So I guess not hack check like Mitchell Robinson. You bring him off the bench a little bit. Still contributed pretty good. But it did cost you game one a little bit, I guess. But that's the whole team around cost you game one, not just Hartenstein playing off the bench.
Yeah, I was mainly surprised they went for the lineup switch without even playing a game. Because they've been playing so well. They've made the adjustment mid-series. And that kind of surprised me because obviously you don't really want to go double bigs because Siakam's just going to eat off of Chet.
I'm assuming OKC did watch film and they saw the hack and Mitch. They probably didn't want that to happen to iHeart as well.
I don't think that necessarily. I think they just wanted to play small because you have a better chance at beating the Pacers when you go small.
That's fair.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But Gio, did you see anything specifically with this game?
So I turned on the game with about 7 minutes to go.
In the fourth?
In the fourth.
Yeah.
That I didn't watch anything before that, and I knew immediately. I'm like, the Pacers are going to win this game. I just had that gut feeling, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, this game is staying. I'm keeping this game on because at the time it was like a 10, 15, maybe 15-point game, maybe like a 13-point game. And I'm like, I'm not turning this off. Even though I had to wake up at 4 a.m. the next morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, the Pacers are going to come back. And sure enough, they did. They came back. They won. They made insanely clutch shots down the stretch. Can we shout out Neesmith for a big-time corner three? Can we shout out Nemhard for just destroying SGA?
Yeah.
Doom, step back, boom, right?
He's in his bag, bro.
He was in his bag. Big-time shot from him. And then, of course, Halliburton. Even though he finished with 14 points, I feel like he always shows up in the clutch. So
Exactly.
Shout out to those guys, man. They killed it.
Yeah, man. And look, like we talked about with Obi Toppin, in Game 4 against the Nuggets, the biggest thing was Lou Dort making 4 or 5 threes in the fourth quarter. He went 5 of 9 from 3 in Game 1. Obi Toppin completely canceled that out.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to beat the OKC Thunder. You need someone that's going to counteract these other guys and give yourself a chance to win. And I thought the defense they played on both Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren were phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, they were both no-shows that entire night.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
Who was guarding Chet the whole night?
I think it was Turner. It was Turner at the start because they weren't playing Hartenstein.
Right.
And then whenever they did do the double bigs, I think Siakam had him on a little bit, but it was
Right.
mainly Miles Turner.
Okay. Fantastic job.
And I think the other main thing, which we talked about with the Knicks series, was the Pacers' transition defense. 20 turnovers in the first half. OKC scored 9 points off of them.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That is.
Every time the Pacers turned them over, or the Thunder turned them over, they wouldn't score.
Right.
And I think that's such a huge sort of like shift in momentum. And again, just making your shots. I mean, they shot 46% from 3 compared to the Thunder's 36.
Yeah.
36% from 3 is not bad. But like when you're shooting damn near 50,
Yeah.
that's like a humongous difference. And, hats off to Indiana.
Right.
Only turning the ball over 3 or 4 times in the second half. This is the kind of basketball that I knew was coming.
Dude, can you imagine if the Knicks were in this finals right now? The Knicks cannot get back on defense. It's impossible for them.
No.
The Pacers, they're super fast, so they can get back on defense, set up defensively, and come up with a stop.
Yeah.
If this was the Knicks in the finals, it might have been a 30-point game.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They would,
honestly.
their leads would have blossomed to 35,
Yeah.
40, and it wouldn't have been close.
That's fine. I would have enjoyed it.
You would have needed to get swept to get Tibbs fired.
Yeah.
And that probably would have happened. I
would have
genuinely
happened.
don't think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Thunder would have lost a game or lost a game at all.
It'll be a sweep.
But yeah, just really happy with the performance we saw in that game. And I know a lot of people were questioning the fact of why did Rick Carlisle not call a timeout in the last second? Why the hell would you want Lou Dort on Tyrese Halliburton in the final seconds of a shot? Tyrese Halliburton's 12 of 14 in shots in the fourth quarter and overtime in the last 5 minutes to tie or take the lead of a game this season. That's crazy. So the fact that the defense wasn't set in pretty much all of these games, because obviously against Milwaukee it was a layup, but you had Giannis on you with 5 fouls, so you didn't want to foul him out of the game.
Right.
Ty Jerome was on you in the Cleveland game,
Right.
and then against the Knicks, it was basically a mix of McHale and Mitchell Robinson,
Yeah.
2 players that are not great defensively. And now here, Kason Wallace is a good defender, don't get me wrong, but he had a much better chance of making that instead of being guarded by a set OKC defense
Right.
with Lou Dort on you.
Right.
That's just what it comes down
Facts.
to, and that's just what it is. Carlisle lets them play every single time.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Because he's bold enough to let that happen. A lot of coaches, out of insecurity, they'll be like, oh, we got to call timeout.
Yep.
Because I don't know what everyone's going to say if one of our guys misses the shot. Carlisle, he has the confidence in his guys, not only in himself, but in his guys, to allow them to play in those clutch moments. He trusts them to be able to, come through in those times.
Right. So that's kind of the main gist regarding Game 1. Do we have any sort of final thoughts?
No.
All right, so let's transition to Game 2. This is essentially where you expect the punchback from OKC. This is the finals, after all.
Yeah.
And I believe in the past few finals, it's been split after 2. I know in 2023, Miami tied it up. In 2022, I believe Golden State tied it up. And then I think those were the only 2. I don't know if Miami tied it up in 2020 or not. But, typically teams go up 2-0. Mainly, we saw Boston do it. We saw Milwaukee or Phoenix did it to Milwaukee before they blew the lead and stuff like that. But Game 2, we essentially kind of saw the same thing in the first half from OKC. They were a little out of sorts, but so was Indiana. And Indiana couldn't really get themselves going. They went into halftime with an 18-point deficit, and they just could not seem to break that mold and come back into this game. So, Gio, I'll ask you, what was the difference here in Game 2 for Game 1 for OKC?
I guess you can say the Thunder they kind of learned their lesson. They're like, okay, we know we're the better team, which they are. I think we all know that they're the better team.
68 wins.
Right. But now they're like, you know what? We have to get the lead, and we know we can do that, but we have to keep the lead now. So I think they learned their lesson from Game 1, and I think that was the key to winning this game. Also, it's just like, usually when the away team wins Game 1, it's almost 100% of the time the home team's going to win Game 2. You know what I mean? That's just statistics.
Right.
But, yeah, I think they learned their lesson, and it's going to be scary, honestly. I don't want to do predictions yet, but I think it's going to be scary. It's going to be tough for the Pacers here on out.
We'll save predictions after we talk about Game 3.
Yeah.
Because obviously we'll know more about where the series is going.
Right.
So, your thoughts, Antoine. What did you see differently in this game specifically compared to Game 1 for both sides?
The biggest difference is two people you didn't mention, Alex Caruso and Aaron Wiggins.
Very true.
Phenomenal bench performances from them. 9 threes combined, 4 from Caruso, 5 from Wiggins. Both shot 6 of 11 from the field. And then I guess kind of, what I talked about for the first game, Obi Toppin was horrible second game. McConnell stepped up. Mathurin stepped up. That was kind of it. I mean, and then I see Siakam struggle a little bit, it looks like I see.
No even numbered game from Siakam. I was a little surprised at that.
Yeah.
But you credit OKC for it.
Chet did good. 15 is all right. J-Dub looked fine. SJ was fine. I guess you didn't ask much from Lou Dort and Kayson starting. I guess the biggest difference is Caruso and Aaron Wiggins. I think that's the biggest factor is these two guys need to be the primary bench guys going forward. I think they are critical for them to win. Predominantly more Caruso, I feel like, because of what he does on both sides. Wiggins could have a good game here and there. He
usually has stinkers, though.
Yeah, he's got to be a little more consistent what he does.
Right.
And then, I mean, Indiana's going to come back. Like, you're not going to be seeing these 11-point games from Nembhard and, like, what is it? 15-point from Siakam. Siakam should have at least, like, 25 plus.
Yeah.
Hallie, 17 is okay. Like, 20 would be nice. 24, 23.
No, I mean, he got most of those points when the game was over. He did not have a great game.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, and then
he's not gonna have
Nembhard.
a good game every single
You
time.
asked, Nembhard only took 8 shots. I think you should be taking at least 14, 15 a night if you're Nembhard.
Yeah.
That's kind of, a given for him, I feel like. Only 4 threes. So, Neesmith made 4 threes, That's good for him. Siakam was the only, big donut for them. But like you said, the punchback is always in Game 2, especially because they're home as well.
Yeah.
And, the bench showed up, which is great because, the starters outside of SGA, J-Dub, Chet, you're kind of looking at guys that don't really score, more defensive guys.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Game 3, I feel like whoever wins Game 3 tonight, I think the history tells that they go on to win the series.
Is that true?
I think game 4 is the important game.
Game 4?
Because whoever wins Game 3, Game 4 determines whether this is tied going back to OKC or,
That is true.
can go 3-1 up.
Yeah, that is true.
And this has been a really weird year. Home court advantage has not been
Such an advantage.
at all. And it causes complications regarding it. And for me with Game 2, even though Tyrese Halliburton didn't have a good game, the non-Halliburton minutes are so bad. I forgot the stat. They were like minus something without him. And because remember, the game was tied when he went off the floor.
Yeah.
I think it was like 17 apiece. And then OKC just blossomed to a 15-point lead within like 5 minutes.
Right.
It was almost like watching the Nuggets when Jokic leaves the floor.
Right.
That team's offense clogs up without him because
That's kind of what you expect,
Yeah, I mean, but the bench is good, but OKC's bench is way better.
Yeah.
And, it kind of just ate them alive. And they got to find something because Halliburton can't go the full 48. No. You just can't do that.
No.
And you need what Andrew Nembhard did in Game 1 in the fourth quarter. Just remember that I'm Andrew Nembhard. I'm aggressive AF, and I'm just going to put my ass into the paint and just move you out of the way. Just like SGA, the forearms of these Canadians, man, they are strong. And they're always going to wind up getting it through.
Yeah. I think that's the next step for Nembhard. Because I feel like we all know, all three of us know that Nembhard, he's capable.
Yeah.
Like he's able to he can get a bucket. You know what I mean? Like he's just a hooper. So he's capable, he's able. But the next step for him is really taking if Hallie's having an off game, right, which he did. If Siakam's having an off game, which he did, it's time for Nembhard to really take that step. It's like, all right, these guys are not playing that great. It's time for me to take that step up to help out this team to get this victory. Right. He has to know that. taking only 8 shots for him. I feel like he can take more than that. He went 4 for 8, which is 50%. Shoot more.
We need the aggression. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's something that we absolutely have to see from him. And without it, it's like, I'm just not getting it.
Yeah.
If that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah.
So
He's been in the league 3 years, right? 2 years?
a little bit, I think 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's time, man.
He was
It's time.
drafted in 22.
So yeah, this is his 3rd season.
3. Okay.
So, I mean, obviously not bad for, most players don't even get to this point in their
Right.
careers, let
For
alone
sure.
being there in your 3rd season. And we saw steps that he took last year in the conference finals when Halliburton went out with the injury. So we basically just have to see what they're doing. I'm trying to find a stat right now that I saw regarding game 3s with both of these teams because they're not very good. But I'll ask you, Gio, what does each team need to do to win game 3?
Oh, that's a tough question. I think for OKC to win Game 3, J-Dub needs to play very well. I think Chet needs to also play very well. Both of those guys need to be in the 20s in terms of points, and they need to play defense, of course, which is what they're good at.
Right.
SGA, keep doing what you're doing. Go to the free throw line. That's what you do. He shot, I think, 12 free throws last couple games, 24 total, I think, around that. So keep doing that if you're SGA. If you're SGA, and if you're the Pacers, I would say hopefully Tyrese is fully healthy, right?
Yeah.
Because I heard
so I'm limping
hamstring.
After the
It might have been a
press conference,
hamstring
yeah.
thing. So
He said it's a lower leg thing.
lower leg.
So we'll just have to see what he means by that. I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
honestly know.
So if he's fully healthy, I expect Halliburton to have a game. I expect him to be everywhere in the court. I'm talking assists and I'm talking points. Okay,
Yeah.
so I expect a big game out of Halliburton. Siakam does his thing and all that stuff. So
I think the difference here in this series is Alex Caruso. I mean, my goodness gracious, he had Siakam in hell
yeah,
all of game 2, and I think he had either 20 or 30 points. I forgot the exact number.
20.
He was just hitting threes in the corner like they were nothing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's incredible, man.
He is.
The Thunder would not be here without him. This team would have lost to Denver in 7 games without
100%.
Alex Caruso on the team.
100%.
He was 1,000% the difference because if he's not on that team, Jokic easily drops a 30-point triple-double and wins that game.
yeah,
You need it's those championship DNA guys.
Yeah.
We saw this last year with Drew Holiday in Boston. We saw it the year before with KCP on the Denver Nuggets. The Warriors are the Warriors. And then, even though he didn't win a championship, PJ Tucker did a lot just as a voice for Milwaukee in winning their championship. And you see these things with every team, and Alex Caruso's just carrying on the torch.
Yeah, he's
And
that
I'm curious
guy.
to see who does it next year because that's something we'll find out. Siakam's even doing this with Indiana, being the only champion on the roster. And Thomas Bryant, I guess, but he didn't play on Denver much.
right.
But
Yeah.
here's where I'm more intrigued about game 3. I have some statistics for y'all here. So, as far as in the first 2 games of the season, I guess things kind of progressed the way they should have. OKC was 2-2 in game 1s. That's all 4 playoff rounds. Indy won all 4 of their game 1s. And in game 2, Indy just lost their first one, and OKC won all 4 of them. Now we get to game 3, and game 3 is really confusing in the sense that they're not good at all.
Who?
Both teams
Okay.
in game 3.
Okay.
So throughout all 3 rounds, Indiana lost game 3 to Milwaukee. They got blown out against Cleveland, and they lost to the Knicks at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And with OKC, they lost that game 3 in overtime to Denver. They got blown out by 70 against Minnesota, and they won game 3 against Memphis. But remember, that was the game when Ja Morant got injured. Had Lou Dort not done that stupid stuff that he did to Ja Morant, the Grizzlies were up by 35. They would have won the game. So really, you haven't seen a legit win out of either of these teams in game 3s. So this is where I'm really intrigued at what's going to happen. And this is going to kind of give me vibes of Nets-Bucks game 3. Teams shooting sub 30%, low-scoring game in the 80s. And that's just kind of what I expect.
So you expect a low scoring game? Okay.
Okay.
So what do you think, Antoine, game 3 is going to be?
I mean, well, I was just looking at the money line favors OKC, but it's very close. And when that tells me is that they're still undecided on changing that line probably a little bit closer to game time. Just on making it shorter. The spread is 5.5. I think that's pretty even for
That's not bad,
OKC. The over under is 227. What Tyler just said, you would smack the under over that because then both teams scoring under 100. I could see a low scoring game. But I think it's going to be all offense in Indiana. I think that's their game at home.
Yeah.
So, and the fans are going to be hyped for their first finals game
Yeah.
in a long time. I think they just feed off of that, and it's going to be I think even OKC, same thing, can be lights out both ends.
We'll have to see.
It depends how it starts out. If it's like how it is when we played them, where we were up, it was a 35-point first quarter both sides, and it's gonna be high scoring.
Right.
But if not, then easily lower scoring game.
So, yeah, we'll have to see. Thankfully for Indiana, Game 7's the only other Sunday game. They're 0-4 in Game 7.
Ooh.
So I guess that kind of makes sense that this dark devil magic, they're winless on God's day. So, but we're gonna save our predictions. We're gonna transition into Game 3, which is gonna happen tonight at the time we're recording. We're gonna record our reactions tomorrow, but for you, it's gonna be a half-second transition. So let's get right into it. So Gio, I have a question for you.
Shoot it.
What is the opposite of no, ma'am?
No, sir. Oh, wait.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sirs. Yes, freaking sirs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I get it, but I get it, though.
It's the Pacers. They're ding for the playoffs. Yes, sirs.
Yeah, their
that's
hashtag.
good.
Yeah.
I thought it was corny as hell earlier on in the season. And as the season kept progressing, I was like, you know what? This is kind of cold. I like it.
That's kind of
Listen, my take is that I can't believe the best team in basketball is going to lose to one of the
Cool. Oh, the
worst.
Pacers?
Yeah. I think that's what he's talking
The
about.
best team that wears blue and orange is going to lose to like one of the worst teams in NBA history. Like that's the worst finals we could ever predict.
Wait, the Knicks aren't in the finals, and they're also ass. So, like,
You know what's funny is that if they were in finals, both teams are blue and orange. You can say the blue and orange team is going to lose. You'd be like, which team?
Let's just all say that
the Pacers
Knicks-
are not orange.
No, the OKC is blue and
he's
orange.
Oh, he's talking about
Knicks
OKC.
and
Play the
Pacers,
Knicks.
yeah.
You say,
Yeah.
oh, the blue and orange team can lose. Yeah, OKC's going to lose.
Can we just agree, though, that the Knicks would get swept
Oh, yeah.
by the Thunder if they were in here? I
Absolutely.
think we said that yesterday, too. So
This series is turning into a barn burner because Indiana has a lot of barns.
What?
Because they have farms over there.
Okay.
Please
And
explain-
OKC is getting the burn. Their barns are getting burned.
Well,
And Indiana's the one burning the barns. So
I'm confused.
you see, so they're the ones
Yeah,
doing the
bro.
damage, but OKC's taking the damage. So they're burning OKC's barn, all their barns in OKC,
burning the barns.
like Harrison Barnes. Anyway,
So Game 3 was last night at the time of recording, where series was tied 1-1 going in, and the Indiana Pacers won the game to go up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Who would have thought, besides this guy, who would have thought that this would be happening right now? They took the game 116 to 107. Just an amazing performance all around from Indiana.
Yeah.
OKC just didn't really have it going in the second half, just didn't really have enough. But, I think rather than doing our usual, just running down the rosters and stuff, since we all watched the game, I think we could kind of get more of a glimpse at what actually happened and what we saw. And it was just last night. So, Gio, talk about the game, man. What were your thoughts? What did you see? How did you feel? What's going through your mind right now?
I wish I was blind.
Okay. He's in pain because he's a fake Knicks fan.
Yeah.
But Benedict Mathurin, man. What do you have, 27 points?
27.
On 9 of 12 shooting.
Oh, my goodness.
2 threes.
Can someone say...
We said it.
Can someone remind us of who's the one that
Oh,
called that?
It was me.
It was not you.
It was
You look-
definitely
you-
not you.
If you go back in the episodes,
It
you'll
was-
see. No,
it
you
was
said it. You
not
just
you.
copied my answer. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that said it first. I said Benedict Mathurin will be the guy to step up to really be that X factor for the Indiana Pacers if they're going to win this series. I didn't pick them to win the series, but I said if they win the series, it's going to be because Benedict Mathurin steps up. And he did that.
Well, yeah. I mean,
So if he continues to do that, the Pacers might come through and win.
well, listen, don't jinx yourself. It's only game 3.
It's only game 3.
4, 5, 6, 7 could all be stinkers for him.
You're right. You're right.
And that's the thing. Like, Game 4 coming up is what's going to decide this series, or at least make this more of a series. Because if Indy goes up
Exactly.
3-1, they're not
Yeah.
losing 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
But if Indy loses the game, and they're tied 2-2, it's anyone's game. But for me, Benedict Mathurin was fantastic. But TJ McConnell, man,
Yeah.
my goodness gracious, at 5'2", my guy absolutely just tore the Thunder up.
Yeah.
I mean, the way he's just beating guys off the dribble from both ends, whether it's his left or his right, And his steals, his interception, like he had the safety celebration after he had the steal on Caruso in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was just a fantastic game and always around for him. That midi is automatic. And
Dirty.
Yeah.
his defense was tenacious. And this is a guy that is 33 years of age and is just relentless. And it's incredible what we're seeing out of him specifically. I tweeted it last night. No one deserves this more than him.
Wow.
Because he is such a hard worker. He's the first process sixer to make the finals. So big up to him.
No, seriously, I think you're right about that. And he's the vet on this team too. So like, not only is he like the guy that brings that spark off the bench that they so need, he's also like he's just their vet. Like
Yeah.
he's
Actually,
there.
that's James Johnson.
Well, yeah, no, you're
Oh,
right.
yeah, James
It's
Johnson
James
is
Johnson
the
as
vet.
well. Yeah, he's the vet.
He's the vet.
TJ
that plays.
is a part of that too.
He
Right.
is.
So
Yeah, because you're working with a pretty young team. Spicy P could be a vet.
Yeah.
Tampa ready.
Yeah, he is.
Just a good all-around game. The bench with Mathurin really took over. And, Nemhard had a stinker. That's kind of been the storyline so far. But Mathurin, his good performance oversees that. But we're not letting Nemhard go off that easily. Spicy P showed up.
I mean, can I give you some pushback?
Yeah.
Because Nemhard on the defensive end has been like all-time levels of class.
Okay, yeah.
Very good.
I understand that.
Holding SGA to, I think, 9 of 30
wow.
from the field.
9 of 20.
9 of 20. Still, I mean, it's not great, but, his just tenacious defense getting inside SGA's head right from the tip with that foul, if you remember right at the start,
Yeah.
when he was just kind of like grabbing and pushing him and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And, he only scored 8 points.
Yeah,
And I feel like all 8 points he scored were important. He hit that 3 in the second quarter where OKC was on a run and that kind of stopped the bleeding. He hit that mid-range shot in the fourth quarter, which led to the McConnell
Yep.
steal and the putback. Honestly, I forgot how he got the other 3 points, but he got them in one way, shape, or form. But
Right. And
I
he
think
hit the shots that he needed to hit.
exactly, he's there when you need him, but he's always just going to be defending in this series. And I feel like he got kind of a bad rap after last year because Jalen Brunson was his bogey matchup. He couldn't really stop him.
Yep.
But he's always been a good defender. And now this year, he's guarded Damian Lillard in the 2 games he played. He guarded Donovan Mitchell in all 5 games. He guarded Jalen Brunson for 6 games. And this is the 3rd game he's guarded SGA.
Right.
And he's held them all to subpar shooting
Right.
when he's the primary defender. And I said it back in October when I predicted the Pacers to go to the finals that he was going to take a massive leap this season. And unfortunately, in the regular season, he did deal with injuries. I think it was a shoulder injury, and he was out for like a month. And again, when everyone came back, the Pacers have the 2nd best record since January 1st. So he's taking that leap in the playoffs. He's been insanely good.
Right. But I think the leap is more on the defensive side.
Yeah.
And that's significant. That's what this team needs,
I think that's what they'd rather have, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, because you'd rather Nemhard score 8 points and hold SGA to 20 rather than him score 25 points and the Pacers give up 135 points.
Right.
And that's kind of the main gist with it. I mean, holding the Thunder to 107 is pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, going to OKC, it wasn't a bad night for them at all. I mean, the only gripe I have is with Chet. 20 points is still great, but the shots, 0 of 6 from 3. The bench was kind of lackluster too. Like Caruso, same thing. More defensively. And then
Talk about SGA. Finished with 24.
24, 9
Right.
of 20 from the field. It's not really like
It's not his greatest.
it's not efficient. It's a little bit efficient. It's 50% from the field. J-Dub showed up, 26, was leading scorer for them.
Yeah.
Shea got 6 turnovers though. That's kind of a a stat for him. He doesn't really have.
Now,
a
what you
lot.
said, Chet had 20, right?
He had 20.
Okay.
He had an explosive first quarter. I think he had like 13 or 14
Yeah.
points
Yeah.
in the first, and then Miles Turner was getting his ass beat in the first half. And he's been dealing with an illness, so he hasn't really been 100%. He's not practicing today, as far as we know.
Yeah.
But in the second half, you know what? He just grew a pair and kind of just started bumping bodies with him. He had a huge block in the fourth quarter on that 3 and then blocked him on the drive. He had 5 blocks in the game in total.
Right. I mean,
he did.
that's awesome. But how long has Miles Turner been sick? Because in that first series against the Bucks, he was lighting it up.
I think he got sick like a few days ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
It's
an
been fairly
illness.
recent.
I feel like he
yeah.
hasn't been as effective on offense for the past couple series. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Well, I mean, he took 11 shots yesterday. He only made 3 of them. So he did take a good amount of shots.
Right,
Just
but like,
wasn't-
what's going on? Because it seems like he's been cold. Like he's cooled off ever since that Bucks series.
Could be matchup dependent. I mean, you're going up against an old Brooke Lopez in the first series, and then Jared Allen was kind of on his own because Mobley was hobbled, and then in the Knicks series, Cat's not a known defender.
Yeah.
In the finals, you're going up against either Chet or Hartenstein when they have the double bigs, but they've been playing small ball. It's hard for him to score on small ball at times.
Okay.
So that could be a reason why, but
possible, yeah.
could also be finals jitters. His first time there.
You know who definitely has finals jitters?
Who?
Chet.
Chet Holmgren in the
Chet.
clutch. In the first half, he's very comfortable.
My goodness.
But when
This
the
guy-
game gets down,
He looks super flustered. Did you see that picture of him when he? I think Miles Turner like blocked him at the one end, and then he threw it off of him and it went out of bounds. Like Chet looks super flustered, man. I don't know what. Maybe he was tired.
I mean,
or,
don't forget he's built like Wemby. His stamina might not be all there.
yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
I remember
Maybe that's a part of it.
we also kind of I almost want to give him a little bit of grace because he couldn't walk 6 months ago when he broke his hip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he came back is impressive enough. But again, it's the finals. You're on a 68 win team. You need to show up when it matters most.
Yes. I mean, no. For me, it's just no excuse. If you're out on the floor, you're healthy enough to play.
Right.
If you're not healthy enough to play, don't play.
Yeah.
That's my mindset. So he's out there. He's playing. Coach thinks he's healthy enough to play. He obviously thinks he's healthy enough to play.
Well, he's good. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I expect more from him.
The biggest thing I think OKC's bench didn't show up. Like Aaron Wiggins had 0 from his 18 the game before. Caruso only had 8, but the defensive side of him is the best part. Is what he does, and then I don't know. You just just didn't. It wasn't their night for the OKC bench, and I guess a little bit of their offense too.
Yeah, a little stat for
really
y'all.
it.
The Caruso Kason Wallace combos. They've had two of the highest plus minuses in the playoffs. In this series, they were combined minus 22
Wow.
when they're on the floor together,
Wow.
which is a credit to Rick Carlisle, who's building himself one heck of a resume. If he wins this series, him and Siakam's stocks are going to rise so much higher as far as everything with what they've done in their careers up until now. It would be winning a second championship against a dynasty-like team with, here Siakam has a finals MVP. Carlisle already is a Hall of Fame coach with a championship and all that stuff. He's won it as a player and as a coach. And I think Benedict Mathurin, they said, had the highest points off the bench in a finals game since Jason Terry in 2011.
Wow.
Who was the coach of that team?
Rick Carlisle.
Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle.
Damn.
Crazy how it's crazy how all of these things come together with Indiana.
Yeah.
But there was one thing specifically that stood out with Game 3 last night, and it's something I said that was going to happen in this series. And remember, this is first to 4. Obviously, we know this. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And what I saw all throughout the fourth quarter last night, every time the ball went out of play, or there was a timeout called, or the ball, or whatever, there was a dead ball. What did you see the Thunder players do? More specifically, SGA.
What did you see? I didn't.
Hands went right on their knees, hunched over. He was exhausted.
Gassed.
And that's
Yeah.
what the Pacers do. And I think that's why a lot of players get hurt playing the Pacers because they wear you down and you have to push past your physical limits. And that's something Rick Carlisle really harped on in the offseason. Get in better shape. Why do you think Jokic is so good? Obviously, he's super talented. He could do everything he could possibly do on a court. But if he's not the condition he is, he's not going to be able to do half of those things. And that's super important for this Pacers team where you're going up against a juggernaut in OKC. Wear them down. Make them take tough shots.
Yeah.
Run.
It is also, it's the last series of a long playoffs. I think they're all pretty gassed and want to, but they can't. It's the last series, That's the problem, having a long playoffs for 2 months and the most physical basketball you're going to play ever,
Yeah.
besides the regular season, It takes a tear. I'm sure all of them are probably, huffing and puffing. But, there's ways to stop that on a short basis for SJ. And, but like you said, I mean, they're young too, It's their first finals. The team's going to get better and better. We know that for the OKC Thunder. Indiana has more little older players that have been in the league for a little bit longer and vets as well. But we'll have to see. That's kind of how the gist of it is for both these teams.
Yeah. I mean, Let's talk about Tyrese Halliburton.
I was just about to ask you about him. Yeah, because we waited long enough.
Because didn't he have something
Almost
about his
triple-double.
Achilles and then something about his hamstring, right?
So,
What's going on?
He was limping out of the Game 2 press conference like we talked about in the last segment.
Yeah.
Right.
He said he has a lower leg thing, but he's fine. And people speculate and stuff like that. And he had a piece of athletic tape down his lower leg on the back, which led people to believe that it might be an Achilles issue. Maybe he's dealing with that tightness that Trae Young was dealing with throughout the season. But he seemed to be moving fine.
Yeah, he looked great.
He looked great. And guess what? We're 3 games in. He's yet to take a free throw
That's insane.
in this series.
But that's not his game, though. But still, that's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He got fouled at the end by Dort at least 3 or 4 times. He could have gone to the line, and they just didn't call it. So that's kind of the gist with Halliburton. But Gio, as someone who's always been very critical of Tyrese Halliburton in this show's history, we're going to give you the floor here and talk about him because this was the first time this series he's really shown up outside of the last shot in Game 1.
Yeah.
So talk about him.
Well, yeah, man. I called him out yesterday. I'm like, Tyrese, I mean, we get it, you're clutch, but we need to see you really, put the team in your back and carry this team to victory. And he kind of did that. He had a triple-double or close to it, right? What did he have?
He
had
was
20,
one rebound shy of a triple-double.
20, 10, and 9, right?
22 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it. That's one way to carry your team. And
Exactly.
so he answered the call, and mad respect to him for Game 3. But you still got a few games to go.
Yeah.
2 games to go to close it out. So let's see what he does.
Job is not done.
Job is not done.
What did you see from Hallie, Antoine?
The worst point guard in all of basketball.
That's crazy work.
No. I mean, yeah, it's a special player and a special time.
Passionate.
Yeah, very much. I mean, I'm not a hater of him. You can't hate someone that's really good at what he does in the game, and Sacramento lost a really good one, like they always do.
They're looking for a point guard now.
I know.
Most ironic.
Yeah, I saw the reports today. Drew Holiday, yeah, whatever. And then Drew's gonna get worse over there, and then go back. Whatever. It's a run of the mill endless cycle for them with point guards. But listen, when this trade happened a few years ago, it was just a very head scratching move because Sacramento drafted this guy pretty high, and you moved on from him pretty early, and goes to Indiana, starts kind of to rebuild a culture for them because Indiana was kind of in that middle barrier for a good amount of time after their Paul George time and George Hill, Roy Hibbert, all those guys loved watching grow up actually. And he kickstarts this core, and you just add piece by piece by piece by piece, and it gets to this. And I guess it's all about building around that one guy. It was Hallie because Siakam came later on. We all know this. And they're riding with it. And it's kind of just putting a roster together of guys that want it. I think that's literally what it comes down to. Because young players are going to be, feel like a lot more hungry than older players. Just because once you get your money, you kind of take a step back a little bit.
Right.
There's not enough. You don't really have much
As much
push,
drive. Yeah.
These guys, MT's playing for a contract, which he'll get this offseason. Nemhard just got his, but it's only a 3-year deal. He's got to re-up again. Hallie, same thing. Neesmith, same thing. He's looking for a better deal probably soon.
He just signed his extension last year, so
yeah.
he's locked in for 5 years.
Siakam just got his.
They're
so
under
he's
the
hungry.
they're under the apron. Turner's extension is going to take them over for the first time,
Right.
which is crazy. And going back on what you said, these guys have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Hallie was traded 2 years into his time in Sacramento. Nemhard was a second-round pick.
Yep.
Neesmith was traded from Boston. He was the paperclip. Miles Turner's been in trade rumors for 18 million years. Siakam obviously was underappreciated. He's someone that I hope no one forgets later on down the line when we're talking about the best role players and stuff like that.
Right.
And guys like T.J. McConnell, guys like Ben Shepherd was a late first-round pick. Thomas Bryant,
Obi Toppin,
Toppin.
exiled out of New York.
He's been in my opinion the unsung hero for this team.
No, 100%.
Yep.
I mean, the things he can do is just insanely good on both ends.
Who I never wanted exiled out of New York, and I hated that trade when it happened.
Yeah. You say that every
He
time.
was one of my favorite players.
Credit to Kevin Pritchard because his minutes were good in New York.
Yeah.
Tibbs just never played him.
Man.
Yeah.
But
Obi Toppin,
man. Him being in Indiana is the perfect fit. And I really hope this team can get it done and win a championship. But, guys, it's time to, I guess, predict the rest of the series. I guess you could either stay on what you wanna. You can either stay on your prediction, change it, or you could just abstain because I feel like the series is so close that it's hard to even gauge it. So
Are we predicting the rest of the series or just next game?
whichever.
I
Really.
mean,
you can do both if you want.
I think. Go ahead, Gio.
No, I was just gonna go next game. Can I start now?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So, like I said before, I'm gonna stand on business. The Pacers and the Thunder are gonna split games 1 and 2,
Yep.
which they did,
Yep.
and they're gonna split games 3 and 4. So I have the Thunder winning in game 4.
Okay. And what does that mean for the rest of the series?
What does that mean?
Unless we want to save that.
Nah, I'm just gonna say it now.
You
So
can
what
do it
that means-
You could save it for the live stream because then Game 5 will be kind of
Yeah.
somewhat over.
All right, fine. I'll save it. I'll save it.
Yeah.
I'll save it.
I think Game 4 OKC takes. I think it's gonna be 2-2.
I'm so torn. Game 4 is going to be the hardest game to pick.
Oh, yeah.
Because SGA and Tyrese Halliburton have never lost a Game 4 Halliburton's lost. Well, no, because Halliburton didn't play in Game 4 last year with the Pacers. So they've never lost a Game 4 in their career. I think they were combined 11-0. So, and both teams are also undefeated after a loss. So, does OKC bounce back? I don't know. I would lean Indiana only for the fact that this is a 2-day turnaround, not a 3-day. And they were tired already last night. However, I felt like everything on the bench went so perfect for Indiana.
Yeah.
Can that replicate again? And that's what I honestly don't know.
Are we gonna get 27 from Mathurin again?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But how much Game 4 really depends on the energy level from OKC.
Yeah.
If they're exhausted, they are not winning this game.
Yeah.
But if they seem rested, if they seem with it, I think it could easily wind up going OKC's way. And hopefully we don't see a Scott Foster ref game because I'd rather just the players decide for themselves. The refs have been okay this series so
good.
far. I didn't like the way they officiated the first half yesterday. OKC had a lot of ticky-tack fouls called, and when Indiana would just get hacked on the other end, they wouldn't call anything. So I need to see more consistency. If you're going to call the soft foul on one end, do it on the other end.
I guess. I mean, it seemed
Yeah.
fine to me overall. The refs.
Yeah, I was
but-
fine. I mean, we talked about that multiple times.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
certain refs, it's in every sport, certain refs deem a foul a certain type of way and
Yeah.
criteria. It depends who's the crew chief that night.
Right.
And that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is what it is at the end of the day. And basically, I'm not sure who I think's going to win, but Indiana needs to win Game 4.
Yeah, of course.
You don't, because if you lose Game 4, you're gonna have to win one of those games
Yeah.
in OKC.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they're gonna be able
Yeah.
to do that. If you win tonight, then you can lose Game 5, and then you can win Game 6 at home and take this thing. And,
Yeah, exactly.
Very doable.
And that puts more desperation on an already tired Thunder team.
Yeah.
Which, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
I don't know how these finals turnarounds are going to be. They're in the same time zone, so
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
Exciting.
Exciting times. Bless
Bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the rest of the series. Just a reminder for you at home that don't know. I believe Anthony already is wrong because he had Thunder in 5. You had Thunder in 6, so they basically they need to win the next 3 games.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna roll Thunder in 7. This is gonna be a 7-game series.
It might be a 7-game series.
and I had Pacers in 7, so we'll have to see. But
Tyler.
I don't know, man.
Dude, if you get Pacers in 7 right, I'm going to be kind of mad. What are you doing? Get out of here.
Did you see the Knicks news today? It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, we've talked about the Knicks enough on this show. We'll talk about it next week. But
Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins
no, I guarantee
are
you.
the focuses right now.
No, I guarantee you. If
That
the,
is actually insane.
I guarantee you, if the Thunder lose this series, the Knicks are going to request to speak to Dagnall. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to happen.
They're waiting for that.
But they're going to wait for
The
it.
Knicks are gonna get Mike Brown.
So he's a good coach. So just enjoy it. Enjoy Mike Brown. And
I don't know.
as for us, that's pretty much the end of our finals talk. We'll send you back to our news segments, and we'll get into the tier list later on from there. Into the next segment we go. It's time to call out the man that runs the entire show, Mr. Adam Silver. I guess we could start off with the most recent thing that happened in Game 2 because we forgot to talk about it. Do you remember after Game 1, everyone really wanted the NBA Finals trophy to be on the court?
Yes.
The NBA was
Yep.
collectively bullied all night.
On
And
Twitter.
and the next day, they put the finals on the court, but it was the digital one on the opposite sides of where the center logo was for OKC. And they literally got collectively bullied into doing it. And every now and then, after every commercial break, they would switch it up and throw the finals logo back on there instead. And I'm like, this is just, quite frankly, not what we asked for with the NBA. And there is one tweet that I'm trying to find right now.
It also was not the right trophy, and the finals logo was also being powered by YouTube TV, because we got to have the ads on there to promote instead of just having the finals like it's always been. Yeah. And it was the wrong trophy is what they put on there.
What did they put on there?
It was not the one that they
Stanley
usually
Cup?
do.
No, it was like an older version of the Larry O'Brien.
It was not the right one that we usually see.
But there's a tweet that I'll find later that we'll put on the screen right now. Essentially, the reason why the finals trophy is not on the floor is because of player safety.
What? Yep.
Isn't that just a load of BS? So I found the tweet. It's right here. So the NBA reportedly removed the finals and playoff decals from the floor in 2014 due to player safety. There was a lot of considerations taken into account making this decision, including player safety, as an NBA spokesperson in 2014 said when they first removed it in the first place. And, I could understand a little bit for the first, split second, because it's the same color as the floor, everything like that. And then I remembered we have an NBA Cup where the trophy is very visible on the floor.
Exactly.
The same color, the same floor design.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do we have any thoughts regarding this interesting decision from the NBA?
Interesting.
I think it's a load of BS, because the NBA Cup is the perfect example. They were saying, oh, but this is the NBA Cup courts, and they're like the nicest courts in the world. I really don't know what the basis is, because if you're a fan watching at the arena, it's just a regular basketball game, because there's no finals branding anywhere to be found.
Right.
If you're seeing it on TV, you would see it. But there's no just aura. There's an aura of seeing the script of the finals. Even the commercials, they did them on ESPN all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the trophy in the middle, it's kind of iconic. And, the Super Bowl has it. The World Series has it.
Yeah.
And so does the Stanley Cup. It's totally doable. I don't know, maybe because they don't want to spend the extra money on it, or it's just they want to be plain, and just because the ad space takes up the spots where the logo is supposed to be, and the finals logo is supposed to be, so they put the ad space there instead.
That's probably what it is.
So,
ad stuff.
The amount of YouTube TV logos we've seen across the first two games has been obscenely bad.
Yeah, I think we get it now.
Even the ESPN score bug barely has any aura left to it.
Yes.
It's just very basic.
Yeah.
Feels like I'm watching just a primetime game on a random Wednesday in February.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no feel to the finals anymore.
Yeah.
No.
So
I wonder what they mean by player safety. Is it because the decals are extra sticky than the normal hardwood, or
I think they were just looking for a BS reason to get themselves out of it, so they didn't have to do it
exactly.
anymore. And
it's kind of whack.
Quite frankly, at the end of the day, I don't think the NBA gives two Fs about the finals. I just don't think they do. The NBA Cup is essentially their pitch to casual fans, backed by a humongously rich company in Emirates Airlines, run by the Emiratis that are just full of oil money and everything like that. So they're going to pay more attention to that, make things pop to get casuals to watch the NBA, because more than likely, casuals won't watch the finals. They don't really gravitate towards it. They want them to watch the NBA Cup.
I think more casuals will watch the finals and the cup, though.
I don't know.
You say?
Most people I know that don't really watch basketball don't watch the finals, because there's so much that goes on that you don't know what's really happening.
Yeah.
Because it's a 7-game series. The Super Bowl is one thing because it's just a one-off.
Right.
The World Cup Finals, the same thing.
Right.
But the NBA Cup is something that stands out. The finals doesn't stand out anymore. They've corporized it too much.
Interesting.
And that's kind of the main issue regarding it. But that's a story for another day. We can talk about it when we have more time.
Yeah.
Let's get into the other thing that Adam Silver talked about. So, the show on FS1, Breakfast Ball, with Craig Carton?
Okay.
So they had Adam Silver on the show the other day as a big-time guest. Props to them. And they were talking about the All-Star Game, because the All-Star Game has been the biggest controversial topic in the NBA as of late, because, for lack of better terms, it sucks. And they asked him, what's the plan for 2026? And he said, I'm not exactly sure what the format will be yet. I paid a lot of attention to what the NHL did, which was a huge success. Now, for those that don't know, they did the Four Nations.
Yep.
And you play for your country and everything of that nature. They duked it out, and it was a lot of good competitive hockey. Can't really necessarily do something like that in the NBA because they're from all over the place. But he did confirm that there will be USA versus the world in some form
Awesome.
or some fashion in 2026. And someone like Stephen A. Smith, I don't know why the tweet just went away from me. Stephen A. Smith essentially gave a pretty damning take regarding the USA versus the world. Put it on the screen. He said, if this doesn't work, I think you're going to see the NBA do away with All-Star Weekend completely. And in this era, players will forever be stained for the rest of their lives because All-Star Weekend was banished because of a lack of effort. So we'll go to you here, Gio. Your thoughts on the format and your thoughts on Stephen A's comments.
Yeah. So I hope that this USA versus world, I mean, I have high hopes for it. Let's just say that. I'll just say that. I think players are going to actually come out and try, and they're going to have a sense of, I don't know, camaraderie and just like a companionship with their home country people, and they're going to really come out there and they're really going to actually try to win. That's what I hope. Now, what I think is going to happen is probably the same old, where the players don't want to get injured for the playoffs.
Yeah.
They don't want to, work too hard and risk injury. So I don't know. I hope the players will try harder. Maybe, I mean, if anything's going to do it, it's going to be this. And I love the idea, fascinating idea, and hopefully it works for the NBA's sake. So
That's all we can really hope for.
Yeah.
But I feel like the problem's a lot deeper than just the lack of effort on the floor. I think there's numerous issues surrounding All-Star Weekend, and the media moguls and everyone else just wants to put the blame on the players because they're an easy finger to point to, or an easy thing to point to.
So you would blame media partially?
I'm not saying I'm necessarily blaming media. They're just blaming the players. But I think there's other reasons as to why the All-Star game is failing and the All-Star Weekend and stuff like that. Because we saw it like last year. It was way more than just the lack of effort.
What was it?
Like they were like stopping games for too long. So they were doing stupid presentations
Right.
with Kevin Hart and TNT and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
stupid.
And that's where our lights just fell out.
Well, and my camera just went out.
All right, sorry about that. Sometimes these things happen, but we're back. So what were we saying about? There's like more problems surrounding the All-Star Weekend, and that's kind of the main gist of it. What are your thoughts on it, Antoine?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, USA versus World would be nice. I've been saying this for a long time. There's got to be some type of reward for these players to make it more of an effort, because you're not going to get any effort with just changing it up. It depends, I think the reward is same thing with the NBA Cup. Something reward based, that makes them want to do it. Or, I mean, it's possible you could do it right before NBA Finals week, like how the NFL does the Pro Bowl, right before the Super Bowl weekend.
Interesting.
You
But I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't get the two finals players or the two finals teams. Their players wouldn't be there.
That's the exact
And
point.
also, if you get injured in that game, you're definitely missing training camp and
Yeah.
potentially the start of the season if you get a serious injury.
Or you make it into a game style like they have for the Pro Bowl.
But at least you don't miss the playoffs, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just one game, man. It's
Yeah.
like I just hate the way it's like. I hate the way this game has transpired into what it is.
Yeah.
Where it's a clown show. It's just a joke of a game,
Yeah.
and I just can't seem to get past it because it's so disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, I expect at least some effort, because like even in the 90s, 80s, and 90s, those guys weren't trying their hardest, but they were at least putting in some effort to where the games were entertaining.
Right.
And when it got down to like the final 5 minutes, that's when they would start kicking it in and bringing out their their full effort. But that's all I want to see, like some sort of competitiveness, and hopefully this USA versus world thing brings a sense of pride in terms of like their country and all that stuff. And hopefully that's what it is, because I know back in the day, the sense of pride came from who's better, the East or the West.
Yeah. Right.
That was the sense of pride, and that's what kind of pushed people to give effort in the All-Star game. Now, hopefully this is the next version of that, USA versus world.
Yeah.
We'll see.
People spend money to go see the All-Star Weekend, and they leave with themselves getting robbed of their money because of how expensive All-Star Weekend could be for some people.
That's such fact.
And some fans around the world might go to All-Star Weekend just to see every player they like at one time. and it's their first time. It's their first time there watching basketball. We have a big global landscape for sports now for basketball, and globalization is going to be a big thing in the future for certain teams.
Yeah.
So you got to think about the fans at the end of the day, because they're the ones that make All-Star Weekend possible. Because spending the money for tickets is one thing,
Right.
and also the media as well. So, if you got to go away with it, go get away with it. Make it not a thing anymore. It would suck for sure. But, the players are the root of the problem, unfortunately, for this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, ever since they tried to change it up, that was like the detrimental blow to it. Because now you're trying to fix a broken product already. And no matter what you do, it's not going to fix anything. It comes down to how it's presented. I'm really glad it's not going to be on TNT. I'm hoping NBC or Amazon, whoever gets it, knows what they're doing. NBC seems to be on the right track of everything. They have everything nailed down to a T. And I think it's going to generate good entertainment and good basketball.
Good.
So we'll have to see with that. And as far as, as far as the All-Star game itself, I don't know. You need more Wembys. You need more players like Wemby, someone that's actually going to take this seriously. And
that's what it comes down to.
That's what it comes down to. And you credit guys like that because that's what's most important. And, you had said, Anthony, something about the fans, their first time.
Oh, like if you're a fan around the world and you want to see all your players at once in one place,
Right.
It's All-Star Weekend.
Exactly. This is supposed to be the stage where the best players, the best individuals all are at once. And, it sucks for people that travel all this way and spend all this money to see a lackluster product. That's just not really. I think the NBA is better than that. I think it's something that's very much below who they are and what they represent. And I still like my idea of 3v3. I think that's really the only thing that's going to save it at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still have hope for this, but if that doesn't happen, 3v3 would be a fantastic idea.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They might do the 1v1 tournament during the skills stuff because even that's been kind of dull. Like the dunk contest stinks.
Yeah.
3-point contest is what it is. It's there's not much you can do to change it.
Yeah.
And the skills contest, we saw Anthony Edwards shooting lefty last year because he didn't want to hurt himself.
Right.
Like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah,
man?
what are we doing?
But you also got to find that fine line between caring about the fans, but not also treating the players like they're objects. You don't want to overwork them, stuff like that. So, but the players should show more effort, and it should be presented better from a media landscape.
Now, last question.
Yeah.
Who do we think would win, World or USA?
Probably
World.
I would say World.
World.
World, it seems like they have better.
I would say
better
World.
rosters.
I mean, as far as like the consistent top 5 players in the world, 4 of them are from outside of the United States.
Right.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think Tatum's the only one that's
US.
from the U.S.
Yeah.
So
probably World.
And if they ever did decide to do something similar to the NHL, like a 4 nations, maybe do a 4 continents. You have the United States, or just like the Americas, Europe, Africa, Asia, Oceania.
That's it.
That could work.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
That would be dope because like
But who would be for Asia though? Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know what I mean?
You can't do 4 nations because you could do like
4 continents essentially.
Well, yeah, the 4 nations.
But if you did 4 nations, it would be the United States, it would be Australia, it would be Canada, and then whichever European country, because that's the thing. There's so many good NBA players from European countries. Like you got Spain, Germany, France. It would likely be France because they got the silver medal in the Olympics.
Right.
But then you're also throwing guys like Jokic, Giannis, Luka, their countries all aside.
Exactly.
Right.
Which, they wouldn't mind. But you want to see those guys play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for like team, that's why I said Asia, Oceania would be heavily dominated by Australians.
Sure.
You have
Yes.
Steven Adams in New Zealand. But, guys like Cam Thomas could play as a
Japan.
Japanese-born citizen.
I thought we were bringing all those guys together. Like, so Europe has like Jokic, Luka, and Giannis on the same team.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be good.
with Wemby and them. And
Exactly.
there's so much the NBA can do, and that's the beauty of this kind of thing. The
Right.
world is your oyster. Do
Right.
whatever the heck you want,
Yeah.
and just do it right. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do we have any final thoughts regarding All-Star Weekend before we get into the next segment?
No, let's roll.
Anthony, it's time to talk about your New York Knicks again. I really wish we could stop talking about them, but they just keep doing dumb stuff. So we just have to keep talking about it. So last week, we obviously talked about the firing of Tom Thibodeau after they were knocked out in 6 games by the Indiana Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals. I guess it was kind of split 50-50 about what people expected it or didn't expect it to happen. And now the coaching search begins. So the Knicks kind of went away from searching down the unemployment line because, you had guys like Michael Malone, you had Taylor Jenkins, Mike Brown, even guys like Mark Jackson are still kind of floating around for coaching jobs. And, there's also like assistant coaches that have done really good jobs on championship teams that the Knicks should have interest in and should hire because these guys could wind up being great coaches down the line. But you know what? That all sounds like good logic. And the Knicks just said, F it, we're the New York Knicks. Let's start asking employed coaches to see if they want to coach the New York Knicks. That is diabolical work. So the Knicks formally requested to speak to Jason Kidd, Chris Finch, and Ime Udoka, and were firmly, swiftly, and almost instantly rejected by all three of them faster than ever before. So this kind of leaves the Knicks in somewhat of a hole. We'll put the tweet on the screen right now from the NBA Central. This was from about a week ago. It hasn't been updated yet. But the current odds set for the New York Knicks head coach is led by none other than Johnny Bryant, who we talked about last week. He's the current Cleveland Cavs assistant coach. For some weird reason, Kenny Atkinson's right behind him, even though he's the coach of the year. But he's there. And then you got other good guys kind of throughout. You got James Borrego, Mike Budenholzer. Patrick Ewing, for some reason, is on
What
here.
the hell?
I don't know why.
Is he willing to coach?
No.
I mean, he didn't do it. He did an okay job at Georgetown, but that was about it.
Yeah, that was.
And then you got the usual suspects like Sam Cassell, Frank Vogel, Chris Quinn, and then you got your PR hires like Jay Wright, Mark Jackson, Mike D'Antoni, and then also a good name in Becky Hammond, and obviously now unemployed Jeff Van. Oh no, he's on the Clippers assistant staff, Jeff Van Gundy.
Really?
And all the way at the bottom of the list at plus 6,000. Got your boy, Stephen A. Smith.
What the hell?
Yeah, I love Vegas.
That is the greatest thing.
I love it. But I mean, I guess we have to ask the true Knicks fan. I mean, Gio, like why are the Knicks going down the employed line of playoff teams? Can you explain this? I'm so confused.
I don't know why they have such a self-centered view of themselves to go out and try to get already like coaches who are coaching good teams, right? Like that just doesn't make sense. Like how much pride do you have to be able to go out and ask people who are secure in their job and are in a good situation to come and coach the Knicks? Like, dude, what do they think? Who do they think they are? You know what I mean?
It's so selfish.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
don't know.
we're the Knicks. We play in New York. We have Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
It's almost like they expect it to happen.
I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I guess you have to explain yourself on behalf
It's
of your
also
team.
it's also a terrible situation.
It
too.
is. It goes back to money talks, and of course New York. But they started at really three of the best guys out there: Finch, Udoka, and Jason Kidd. But again, none of those teams are going to let those guys go. This is actually a point right now. I don't know who the next Knicks head coach is going to be. I was firm on Johnny Bryant. Right now, I don't know who is going to get hired as the next head coach.
He might not even be considered. That's the point we're at.
It could literally be Mark Jackson in 2 minutes from now can get released. It could literally be Jeff Van Gundy. I know he's out there. It could be.
He's coached the Knicks before already.
Jeff Van Gundy?
Yeah, Jeff in the early 2000s. Yeah.
I think Johnny Bryant is probably the name, but another tweet here that I have is kind of funny. New York basketball, the best Twitter for Knicks on Twitter. I love them. They are the greatest people on earth. They just put out a tweet 2 hours ago, just like a timeline. 2018, Knicks interview Mike Brown before hiring David Fizdale. 2020, Knicks reportedly interview Mike Brown before hiring Tom Thibodeau. 2025, third time's a charm, question mark. Again, we just said Mike Brown, but I don't think that's a tough situation for Mike Brown to go into right away.
He's not even in the odds. That's how much of a long shot it is.
I think Bud, same thing with him. He's got a Phoenix situation. He's not looking to go anywhere else.
He got canned, bro.
Yeah, no, he got canned. Exactly. Yeah. I literally think it's Johnny Bryant or bust. Or we could see a name that he just said of an assistant coach that we don't know who it is could easily get the job. I think it's gonna take a lot longer than literally a week or so, because Leon Rose said today that, or according to the reports, they're casting a wide net search. Now, I think wide net also applies to college basketball as well. Just from the looks of it, I'm not saying Dan Hurley, but Coach Cal, Coach Pitino,
I just don't think those guys will translate well to the NBA.
That's the problem.
Because these guys,
So-
remember, you're dealing with top prospects coming in. You're already dealing with great players. It's hard when you're dealing with a full roster of different kind of play styles, and the opponents you're facing are a lot better than the teams Kentucky or Arkansas or whoever's facing. You're not
Exactly.
going to have those cupcake games against Elon.
Right.
You're going to have, you're going to be playing NBA teams. Even though some stink, they are made up of amazing basketball players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Also, like bringing Johnny Bryan at young mind to coach these guys that are already kind of not young anymore. It's kind of like a recipe for somewhat of a disaster because the guys are already star potential for all of them, and you don't really have to develop anybody. Like Johnny Bryan has to like at a team like in Charlotte or Washington or like Brooklyn. You don't need a developmental guy. You need someone that's going to go right into the team and start making it look better. And that's why I like Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy. It could be someone that just got fired, but I doubt that. So I listen at this current moment in time at 5:34 p.m. I have no clue in the world who the next Knicks head coach is going to be.
It's going to be me.
I have
It's definitely going to be
no clue.
Had
Because
Gio at a plus 10,000.
according to reports, Jason Kidd does want the job.
Really?
Yes. But
I feel bad for him.
unfortunately, he got rejected. Kidd can also resign from his poll at Dallas Mavericks head coach and go over to the Knicks.
Okay.
But that's only if he really desires that. And I don't know if you could still trade for head coaches in the NBA anymore.
You can.
But again, I feel like, that trade, Nico Harrison could trade Jason Kidd away for a player or so. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I doubt that. They locked up Kidd last year. It's kind of they have a plan with Cooper Fly coming in now. That would be crazy if they lose Kidd and they got to bring in a new head coach now.
Imagine,
Coach Cooper Flag.
imagine Thibodeau winds up in Dallas, coaches Cooper Flag, ruins his career because he's terrible coaching younger players.
Well, if he's an assistant.
He just won't freaking play him.
Yeah, he's not going to play Cooper Flag.
He's
gonna come off
going to sit on the bench.
But yeah,
Look at Tyler Kolek minutes.
Right.
It's crazy. I have no idea. I mean, it's an open book. It's an open whole book for us right now for figuring out who's going to be on the sideline next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is really with regard to the Knicks. I mean, someone in our comment section had told us a couple days ago, if the Knicks are in a mess, then what was the past 20 years? The Knicks are in a mess. Let's be brutally honest. The team has a stupidly high payroll. You're going to wind up having to pay Mikal Bridges a copious amount of money over the next summer or two. Karl Anthony Towns is slated to make $66 million in 2027. They have no draft picks. And, you clearly have roster problems from top to freaking bottom.
They can trade Cat, though.
They could trade anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you can even get a good return for Jalen Brunson if it gets to that point.
Right.
But that's the problem though. The Knicks can't do that because the Nets are not giving them their picks back.
Mm-hmm.
The Nets want the Knicks to suffer and stink, and the Nets could very well be in the Celtics position 10 years ago, where you're getting top seeds in the playoffs in a few years, and you have the top 5 pick. That's huge. Those picks are unprotected. And I think that's the biggest sort of problem from Leon Rose, which is essentially why I was saying that he should also get the boot.
Sick.
The lights went out again. I don't know if your cameras did too, so we'll
Yeah.
cut. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. But that's kind of what I was getting at with the Knicks. I think the coach is going to be scapegoated regardless, however many times it takes for it to happen. And I just think this roster is going nowhere fast. But let's go to the Knicks believer. Gio, what do you think? You agree, disagree? What's your thoughts on the future for this franchise?
Oh, man, it's tough. They're in a tough spot. I mean, I think they could trade Cat because I don't know if you want to pay him all that money. Trade him away. I'm pretty sure there's teams out there that can use him. So I would say trade Cat away, get some assets back in return, and and then just try your best with who you got right now, Brunson, Mikal, OG. I mean, it's still going to be a decent team. I still think they'll make the playoffs with that team, but they're not going to be contenders or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it.
That's already an L though,
Yeah.
because that's not what the Knicks should be doing. Like
Any
how do
route
you-
they take is an L at this point.
Like how do you make these kind of lateral pivots and you're just as good as you were before?
Right.
That's the problem for me. And I just can't seem to get past that because if you make those types of trades, you need to win a championship or at the very least get to the finals.
Yeah.
And I think they might have pulled the Nets and just peaked your first year and fell short.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the problem. And that's why you don't gamble after overachieving the season before. Because they were a game away from the conference finals, but I just don't think they should have made it as far as they did. And that gives you false hope for the future. You see the shiny new toy and you want to get it.
Well, they overachieved this year as well, right?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Every time the Knicks made the playoffs, it was some sort of an overachievement, and then they made a stupid move, like giving Randall the contract extension in 2022. They shouldn't have done it. And now you're left in a situation where you're playing with no house money at this point. You're just kind of doing whatever to try and get yourself by. And I think the coach is going to be super important here, because if this coaching search nets another fired head coach in a couple of years, I think Leon Rose is out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally how I see it.
Yeah.
He should have been gone, but he's not.
That's the problem. And
So-
we'll have to see what the roster looks like next season. Do we have any sort of predictions on the ceiling for this Knicks team if they do decide to run it back in obviously a weak Eastern Conference?
They'll
Well,
be top 3.
They're not running back because I still stand firm that Cat and Mikal get moved, only in the circumstance if Giannis doesn't become available. But again, I feel like the Bucks wouldn't take our offer because I'm sure other teams will offer a lot more than what we have to offer. So we have to just see who we can get for the two guys that I just mentioned and go from there. But if they do run it back, I need to see just a whole rejuvenated Cat in multiple ways. Same thing with Mikal. OG's got to be more consistent. And that's kind of it. Josh Hart, I think, will get moved. But that's the most likely player I think that was going to get moved. Him, Hart, or Mitchell Robinson. But I still think they would be a top 4 seed next year, regardless.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a tough time trading these guys.
Yeah, that's the
It's
problem.
tough because these guys want extensions, and you have no draft capital. Like, no team's gonna want, like, OKC and San Antonio are gonna outbid you because they have like 30 or 40 picks across the next decade.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
I mean, I think you can get something in return for Josh Hart, though.
But no, Josh Hart's not gonna net you back much. Especially in this day and age with the CBA, he already makes like $18 million. That's
Yeah.
gonna get you a bench player
Okay.
Yep.
or a low end starter.
Okay.
And you're gonna have to hope that KD's value is so low they were able to get it done with
Could be.
with one of them and something else. So I don't know. I think this team will probably be a top 4 seed next year because the East is just not good,
Yep,
and
exactly.
we'll just kind of have to see from there. What do you think, Gio? Before we move on,
I agree with you guys. Everything you guys said.
that's very fair. Man, a
Okay.
few words, but they're impactful
Yeah.
words. So he's definitely more of a Knicks fan than you are.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He'd be
Depends.
I don't
I
know.
believe in them more than you, though.
Well, this
we can say that.
season, yes.
I think you have a lot more belief in them, but he's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, it's fine.
So
Yeah, Gio.
still a fake Knicks fan regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So we've reached the main point of the show. Are you guys ready to put all the playoff stars from this year's postseason into a tier list?
Yeah,
do
let's
it.
rock.
Into the main segment. We finally reached it. It's been about an hour or so. And it's time to bring back the third ever tier list to our channel. So obviously we talked about this in the intro, and you could tell by the title and thumbnail. We're going to be doing a tier list of all the playoff stars from this year. So obviously we did X Factors a few weeks ago, and we specifically left off all 33 of these players. So we have the top 2 options from all 16 playoff teams. Cleveland has an extra one because they had 3 All-Stars this year because they played just so well all season. So that's kind of going to be that. We'll put them in based off of their pure playoff performances.
Okay.
So anything in the regular season does not count, does
Got
not
it.
matter whatsoever. It's just a matter of, did you show up in the playoffs? If so, how good were you? And if you didn't show up, how bad were you? How detrimental were you to your team's success or, I guess, elimination,
Got
as you
it.
will, considering all but 4 of these guys are in Cancun right now.
Yeah.
So do we have any sort of questions, comments, concerns before we show the tier list and everything like that?
I'm ready to
Let's
go.
go.
All right, so on the screen right now is the official Floor Spacer 2025 Playoff Stars tier list. So we broke this down. We were going to do names, but it was just we couldn't think of any good names. So we just have S tier for the best of the best, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. No F tier this time around because these guys are all fantastic players. It feels insulting to say that they were, dog. So instead, the last tier is injured because injuries do happen in these postseasons. And sometimes guys are too injured to even rank.
Yeah.
So we'll just slot those guys right in there.
You can just do that right now.
And-
Knock that out the way.
We can if you want. We could just separate that out into injured players, or we could
Yeah.
go by team so we could keep it
Okay.
easier for the timestamps. It's really up to y'all. I think it might be easier to just do.
I say
teams?
Look, I say
Look
we
at the teams.
look. This is what I think. We knock out S tier. We knock out injured right away because we all know who's supposed to be in S tier.
Let's do injured
Right?
first then. Yeah.
Injured
Yeah.
first. All right.
Injured
let's do it.
first. So we can put Damian Lillard in there.
Yeah.
So Dame.
Put Tatum.
Unfortunate.
No.
No, because Tatum had a round and a half. Dame
Yeah.
only played like 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
So we really can't put him in there.
All right.
Who else?
Who else really? Not really many other players.
Kinda
I guess
like
Ja Morant.
Ja. Yeah. Put Ja in there.
Ja was injured as well.
Okay.
So we'll put him in there. And I think that really
Curry,
is kind of
no.
it. Nah, Curry had 1 full round.
Right.
I think those are really the only 2 I'd say that were too injured to rank.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
That's
And
fine.
I think we save S tier for when we
That's
go by
fine.
the team.
you want
Yeah.
to save
Yeah,
it?
we'll save S tier.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just knock out those 2 as a start. So I guess we'll go to you first, Gio. What team do you want to go to?
Let's go to Denver.
Start with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
So I think we can confidently say Nikola Jokic is an S tier
Yes.
player in this playoffs. I mean, he was
Yeah.
outstanding in all ways around. Whack bro all the way up into S tier. Where do we put Jamal Murray?
Jamal was also very good in the playoffs.
But he did have some bad games.
What the fuck? What the hell is he talking about?
What? You don't think Jamal Murray was good?
Yes. He's in C tier.
Oh my God. You
I
don't
like
watch
this. We got some
NBA.
Good old fashioned debate.
You don't watch NBA.
Yeah, I
Jamal
don't.
Murray is. I think Jamal Murray in the playoffs this year. I think he's A tier.
I don't know about that.
Tyler, he's C tier, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say
C?
C. I'm leaning towards B.
That's fine.
Because-
I'm okay with it, but high B if anything.
It's hard for me to say he's A tier with the stinkers that he had. They really needed him to get going. Aaron Gordon played better than he did
No,
in
disagree
a lot of
completely.
those games against the Thunder. Jamal Murray was good against the Clippers. He did leave a lot to be desired against the Thunder.
Jamal Murray was the reason why they won more than a few of those playoff games. I just hope you know that.
I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm talking
The
about
sole reason is what I'm
the
saying.
games they lost. He was not good. Game
Yeah.
7, he didn't show up.
I mean, Jokic had a couple stinkers too, if you want to be honest.
Right, but
Right.
Jokic at the end of the day, when he can't score, he's doing other things.
Okay.
When Jamal Murray's not scoring,
He's playing good defense.
he's trying.
No, he's playing good defense.
I'm saying he's trying. He's not a great defender, but he's okay.
All right.
And that's where
I'm a big time Jamal Murray fan. I think he's actually a lot better than we think. And the games that he plays good, they always win.
well, obviously,
Like-
you need that to happen.
No, but like his effect on the game is a lot more than we realize. So
Well, obviously, Jamal Murray's always going to be underrated because he's never made an all-star team.
Just toss him into B.
you can put him
tier.
in B. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if you said A tier, you said C. I'm leaning towards B. We could always change these later down the line if we think so. So Jamal Murray, will put you in.
Wait, how
to
about
B
we just do
tier.
that for now? How about we all give our letter grades and then they.
Yeah, that's what we're always
They
going to do.
mix in, yeah.
But obviously, we're going to have clashes, and that's going to depend
Yeah.
on if we can sway each other's opinions
Yeah.
or not. So it is kind of necessary.
Can I interrupt? Shams just sent a tweet out.
Yeah.
Can we choose the next team? I'll choose the next team.
Yeah, you
Oh,
choose an East team.
Because it relates to the Knicks.
Oh,
So the Knicks requested permission to speak with Atlanta Hawks head coach Quinn Snyder,
again?
but we're firmly rejected.
Good.
Dude.
Good.
Knicks, cut
So
it
now
out.
going to Quinn Snyder. I don't know why,
They're trying everything they can
but
to. I mean, maybe that's a ploy to try and get Donovan Mitchell out of Cleveland because he coached him in Utah. I don't know. The Knicks are a weird franchise,
that's
man.
an interesting one.
So let's go to the Knicks. We have
Yeah.
2 players to talk about here: Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Been very different across all 3 playoff series, I must say.
I'll tell you all this. I'll put Brunson in A, and I'll put Towns in high B tier.
That's exactly what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I was really debating with Brunson because I definitely don't think he's been S tier. I know some
No.
people have been saying he's been the best player all postseason. I firmly disagree with
No,
those claims
he's not.
because I think he struggled a lot against Detroit. I thought he was great against Boston, but Boston really didn't have much to throw at the Knicks. And against the Pacers, he was terrible.
I wouldn't go
on
as
the
far as
defense-
to say that.
On the defensive end.
Okay.
On the offensive end, he was great, obviously. But for me, I think Brunson's definitely an A tier. I think the one pushback
He
I'll
just
give-
misses S for me.
No, I think he misses S firmly for
What
me.
do you think, Anthony? Does he just miss S or does he?
Yeah, he had some stinkers.
But like, does he just?
Yeah, he
miss
just
it?
misses, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I know someone was talking about like after Halliburton had the bad game in Game 2. It was like, imagine Jalen Brunson dropping 3 points in the first half of an NBA Finals game. And in my head, I'm just thinking, imagine Jalen Brunson in an NBA Finals game.
Okay.
Like, that's
Okay.
crazy. I can't seem to imagine it.
But that's
So-
true though. Like if Jalen Brunson had 3 points,
That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Pacers were only down by 18. The Knicks would have been down by 40.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the main thing. I want to give you some pushback with Karl Anthony Towns
Okay.
because I'm confused with him, to be honest with you, on where to place him. Because against Detroit, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he really was good on the offensive end when not guarded by Tobias Harris. Against the Celtics, I thought he was good. And then against Indiana, I did not like the way he played at all.
He wasn't great against Indiana, especially defensively, but he had that one performance where if he didn't play decently well, the Knicks would have been blown out in 5 games.
Right. But he also got
So
benched.
he saved the Knicks.
He also got benched in the fourth quarter in game 2 of that series.
Yeah.
Is that enough to knock you back down to C tier?
Definitely not. I think he definitely is a B tier.
What do you think, Antoine?
He's still B tier for me.
Think he's B tier?
Yeah.
I'm going to agree, I think. We'll put Cat in B. Now the question is, where are we going to place him? Do you think he's been better or worse than Jamal Murray?
This is tough. I mean, I guess you can say better.
I don't know, because I feel like both of them have different expectations as far as what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. I mean, right around the same spot, honestly. If you can put him behind him or ahead of him, I think it's just...
That's fine.
I would probably lean Jamal Murray.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I
Yeah.
already wanted Jamal Murray in the A tier, so...
Okay, so yeah, he'll go right behind Jamal Murray
Yeah.
then. So, and I'm sorry, Antoine, you're outvoted already. It's 2-0. So I'm sure you probably want Cat
it's
above
fine.
him. But
I was okay with either one.
yeah, Quinn Snyder, man, that would actually be a decent coach for you to interview, but I just don't know why the Knicks feel like this is the route they're going on. It honestly just screams selfish.
Yeah, I mean, not even... It's just like narcissism.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is, yeah. So, Gio, go ahead and pick a West team.
All right, let's do the Rockets.
The Houston Rockets. So, we have Alperen Şengün and Jalen Green. So, which one do we want to start off with?
Let's do Jalen Green.
Jalen Green. This is going to be a really volatile player here.
Yeah.
He was, had a great regular season, had some stinkers here and there.
Yeah.
And in they played 7 games, right?
Yeah.
I think he had 6 really bad games.
Yeah.
He had the one fantastic game
Yeah.
in game 2. And that was about it. And I'm pretty sure they lost that game, right?
No, I think they won.
Oh, they won game. They lost game 1.
yeah.
Okay, fair. Because that was the game Jimmy Butler got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, so Antoine, where do you think Jalen Green should go?
Well, I mean, C, D tier.
D.
C or D?
Definitely D.
D tier is fine.
Definitely D.
I'm okay with that.
What's the percentage of that?
what?
You played 1 good game out of 7.
1 out of 7? What is that like?
14%. Yeah, you get your ass in D tier, bro.
Yeah.
Go away. So Jalen Green, unsurprisingly there, I think out of everyone on this list, he might have been the worst player that we saw. So now the other one's Alperen Şengün.
I mean, he was their most consistent player for the Rockets, but still nothing that pops out on the screen to me. So I think it's a high C tier for Alperen Şengün. What do you guys think?
I'm fine with C tier for Şengün.
Yeah, because I was kind of like thinking of where I want to put certain players that I was confused about.
Yeah.
Şengün I was envisioning on a B tier, but based on the fact that we put Murray and Cat there,
Right.
there were definitely games where he played better than the two of them did in their stinkers, but again, it felt very average.
Yeah.
Left a lot to be desired. That Draymond dunk was insane.
That was insane.
It was amazing. Yeah. But, we could move him up later on, but I'm comfortable putting him at C for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Also, can we finish off Milwaukee? Giannis is a definite S tier.
Yeah.
oh yeah, well we could transition
Yeah.
to Milwaukee right now. Obviously, if you arrowed to this point in the video and wondering where's Dame, he's right there at the bottom. He's injured. He only played like a game and a half before tearing his Achilles.
Yeah.
Hope Dame's doing well. He actually had a training video released. He was doing one of those you probably know what it is, Gio. It's like one of those treadmills, but it's like enclosed from the waist down.
Oh, I know exactly.
So I don't know if
Okay,
it's
yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. I
I
can
don't
show
know
you
what
on
it
camera.
is, but I know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
hopefully he's good. But Giannis, in my opinion, it's hard to even
He's S.
it's
He's
hard to
S.
put him like above Jokic though because they only won 2 games. or
Right.
one
I
game.
mean, technically, if we're speaking of like performances and how many performances you had and how many good performances you had, he would be above Jokic. But the fact that Jokic got further, you have to put Jokic above.
I think
I
think even the fact that Jokic took that Thunder team to 7 games without even playing that good,
yeah,
That's fine. I'm okay with it.
it's tough because he had a really good Clipper series.
right.
Giannis had an all-time series against Indiana, but
Yeah.
they only won 1 game out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I think just out of respect for that, we'll put Giannis just behind him.
yeah, that's good.
So,
And then you Triple J, you want to clear off too?
Yeah, let's clear off Memphis because Ja also is again, too injured to rank. He only played 2.5 games before going out with, I forgot even what he injured. Lou Dort undercut him going for a dunk at the end of the
ankle or
first half.
something?
Yeah, it was like ankle, elbow, something along those lines. How do we assess Jaren Jackson? I'm actually a
I didn't
little.
watch him much.
Yeah,
perplexed.
what did he do?
I'm gonna look up his stats right now.
Yeah,
'Cause
really quick.
I was thinking just C tier, smack middle.
Just average, probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
remember, Jaren Jackson throughout the regular season was getting all. He made All NBA. Like, he was
DPOY.
playing so well.
Yeah, he was.
He was a Tyler Schwartz player spotlight this season.
Yeah.
So let's look up Jaren Jackson's 2025 playoff stats because you know what? It actually was a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
That's in his career. I want 2025. Okay, so here we go. Against the OKC Thunder, he averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 1.5 assists in those 4 games. And he only shot 38%
Yeah,
from
no.
the field.
He might have to be D tier, bro.
I think there's a chance he might have. I want to cut him a little bit of slack because you went up against an all-time defense, fully rested.
The Warriors?
No, they played the Thunder, yeah.
You're right. I don't know why I thought the Warriors.
So, I mean, like, I just don't know if I could put him in the same kind of realm as Jalen Green.
You could put him below Şengün. That's fine.
We could do that. It's really up to you guys.
I want
Yeah.
to put him in D tier, but
What do you think, Antoine?
I think he's low C tier.
I'm going to agree with him.
okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll put Triple J in the lowest of the C tier. Absolutely no one's going to go below him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jalen Green is his own special type of dog.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard because Jalen Green would have like these 2-point, 3-point games. It's just not good enough.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
alrighty,
Next team.
We got all just a bunch of 2s and 3s left. Gio, pick a East team.
Let's go with the Cavs.
Cleveland Cavaliers. So this is our only section of 3. So we have Donovan Mitchell, we have Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley. Who do we want to start with, Gio?
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. Interesting to kind of gauge here.
Yeah.
It's hard because
He also had a bunch of stinkers, but he had games where he had like 45.
he would have fantastic
You know,
games.
so it's
Yeah.
up and down, very inconsistent.
Put his body on the line, though. That Indiana physicality had him hurting.
I want to put him in B tier. I don't think he was A tier.
Yeah.
He was not on Brunson's level, not at all.
I would go to highest B tier for him.
I think I might agree with Anthony here. It's tough because, like, the Heat really gave him no challenges. He was absolutely fantastic in that first round series. Against Indiana, he had a couple of those 45-point games. So it's tough to call. It's not like he stunk up the joint. Like he was the main player that was doing well and no one else really gave him the help he needed.
Uh-huh.
That's why I'm almost trying to make the argument he should belong in A tier. But even still, you both said B.
Yeah,
so it
exactly.
really doesn't matter where I put him. He's going to wind up in B tier
Yeah.
regardless. But I think he should go at the top of B tier above Brunson.
That's
I mean,
No,
above Brunson, above Jamal Murray.
yeah, that's
sorry.
fine.
that's fine with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no issue.
Okay,
Above Jamal.
we'll put Spida there
Yeah.
in B tier.
Darius Garland.
So Darius Garland, also prayers to Darius Garland, by the way. He just had surgery on that toe.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a toe injury this serious. He's going to miss like the start of the season,
Yeah.
which is pretty sad. So hopefully he gets better. Prayers to him. How would you assess his performance? Because he did come back midway through the Pacers series and obviously was great against Miami before hurting that toe.
Yeah, I mean, he'd probably be like the highest C tier.
I think I agree with that.
That's literally, he's definitely better than Şengün and Triple J, but not the 3 we have in B tier.
That's fair, yeah.
That's my
Because I don't think he was bad enough to be on Jalen Green's level, but I
No.
also don't think he was as good as Donovan Mitchell,
No, yeah.
Jamal Murray, or Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah. I think high
So,
C.
Yeah.
High C, definitely go above Şengün.
No, I think right below Şengün, honestly.
No.
I think right below Şengün.
Below Şengün, above Triple J.
Yes. I
Is
think
that
right
where you
there
want
is
to put
good.
him?
Where do you want to put him?
I'm above Şengün.
You think he should go above Şengün?
Yeah.
I don't.
It's tough. They played the same amount of games because he sat out with the injury. It's kind of hard to gauge Garland's performances because he was injured so much.
I mean,
I think for that reason alone, you can put Şengün above him.
it's fine.
Şengün was out there. He was available.
Şengün was
more consistent.
Yeah.
Şengün was.
I'm-
yeah, I mean, okay.
I'm totally okay with that because at the end of the day, Şengün's a first option.
Yeah.
Garland's a second option and
Okay.
wasn't playing his tip-top game.
Right.
So
On to
that's
Mobley.
totally fair. Evan freaking Mobley. What do we got for Evan Mobley?
Oh my god, I was gonna say B tier.
It's tough. I mean, Evan Mobley was fantastic against Miami, but Miami is awful. And in the
I
second
don't.
round,
They're not even a playoff team, man. Like,
yeah, they really weren't. But
not a playoff team.
Evan Mobley in the second round, he missed game 2,
It's
right?
not good.
And then
Yes.
came back for games 3, 4, and 5.
And he wasn't that good.
He wasn't that great.
I think honestly, C.
I think it's hard, man.
You
I don't
could do
know.
C tier because I mean he was injured though.
I mean,
so-
think about it. Like this Cavs
Yeah.
team severely underperformed everyone's expectations. For that reason alone, I can't see anyone in B except for Donovan Mitchell on this Cavs team.
That's
just what
understandable.
I think.
I think that's the detrimental part of having an easy first round series because you coast, it gives you false hope, and you don't really go into the second round with your foot on the gas, and you're going up against a red hot team that is all about physicality, and I don't think any of their bodies were ready for it. I mean, these guys are all lean. There's not really a lot of beef to them. Pause. You know, Mobley's skinny, Garland's skinny. Really,
the
everyone's kind
ideal
of the same
spot
type.
is he was better than Garland, so I would put him in that C tier right in between Şengün and
Yeah,
Garland.
I'm gonna agree with that.
So above Garland, below Şengün.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
little-
fine with that.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
because
what-
Evan Mobley missed only one game in this playoffs, and
yeah.
you know they played really well without him until the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
When they choked that lead and Hallie hit the first of those game-winning threes, which is still just obscenely insane, but you know, kind of is what it is. So there's the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's get to another West team.
Can we also throw Steph into the injured category
The injured category.
for Steph?
He played he played really 4 and like a quarter games because he got hurt in game 1 against the Wolves.
I think based off of that, we could put Steph in B.
Because I feel like because he played 7 games prior,
Yeah,
so not 4. Sorry, I keep thinking they swept.
7. Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll do the Warriors next.
Yeah, do the Warriors. I was
Where
thinking-
do we want to put Steph? Because
I think Steph
Steph was instrumental for the Warriors winning that series.
He was.
Well, yeah,
So that's why I say he's high B. I think he's even above Donovan Mitchell.
I would be okay with that.
That's tough.
I mean, Steph had 40-point games too.
Yeah, it's the thing.
So and
And
his
if-
team won.
If he didn't get injured, they probably would have won that series.
But didn't Steph have like a game or two in that series where he was like 0 of 8 from 3?
Yeah, he had a couple games
He had a
where it was
couple
like
of them.
that.
That's
You're
why
right.
he's not A.
He's definitely not A. Do we now? The question is, do we want to put him above Donovan Mitchell or below him? That's the question, I guess.
That's
Tyler,
the
what do you
question.
think?
Well, he seems like he has a set spot. Where
What
do
do
you
you
think?
Yeah, I think he's the top B tier.
Top B above Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Because I definitely think he's above Jamal Murray and Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm taking it back. I'm going to put Steph Curry below Donovan Mitchell and ahead of Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gio.
Oh, it's tough. I think the injury, I'm going to agree with Gio.
Okay.
I think we'll put Steph.
That's fine. They're both borderline.
I think we'll put Steph right there.
Yeah.
Had he had come back for
Yeah.
for a potential game 6, I think it could have been a lot different.
Yeah.
But Minnesota did their job and they put them away in 5 games.
And then we Jimmy.
Jimmy Butler, another player that got injured, although he managed to play through it. He didn't play game 2, but he had that tailbone injury after Amen Thompson undercut him.
You could definitely put him
Above
below
Steph.
below Cap.
I thought Jimmy Butler left a lot to be desired in the
Below
playoffs. I thought in the Minnesota series
right.
he was not good
You're
for
right.
his standards,
You're right.
obviously.
I mean, it's tough. Like he's just carrying the whole
tough.
entire load now.
Right. Pause.
And he already said he's not the Batman anymore. He's the Robin.
Right.
So it's like that's not easy.
That's like a resigning statement from him. I don't like.
kind of is.
I don't particularly like that. It almost wants to make me put him in.
Well, he's
C tier.
older.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, Jimmy Butler's a cold killer in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, but he's he friggin' 70 now? Like
You could put him in the highest C tier.
no.
No, I think he
We gotta
should
put him
go.
in
I
low-
think he
low
should
B.
go in B.
So definitely below Cat.
I think below Cat. I
He
think
had a good Rocket series.
right. Yeah, I think the specifically games 4 through 6 against Detroit for Cat were so good
Yeah.
that instantly above Jimmy Butler for me.
Yeah.
So we'll put Jimmy in B tier right at the bottom.
That's good.
All right, Gio, give us another West team. Who do you want to go to?
Let's
You want
do
to just get the other? Oh wait, yeah, we already have the Grizzlies in there.
You want to do Clippers?
We can do the Clippers, yeah.
Let's do Clippers.
So we have Kawhi Leonard and we have James Harden. These two are interesting.
Yeah.
What do we think? Who do you
Ooh.
want to start with?
I want to put Kawhi in A tier.
Ooh.
Am I crazy for that?
I was even debating S tier. I'm not even gonna lie.
Really? For
Bro,
Kawhi?
the fact that Kawhi got through an entire playoffs healthy is a freaking miracle.
That alone deserves
Against-
S for him. I don't know.
The fact that he was guarded by Aaron Gordon's physical ass for 7 games,
Right.
and he got through it without a
He did.
scrape.
He did.
I almost want to put him in S tier.
No, I can't do that.
You could put him
I mean,
in
you
A
can
tier.
do that.
I could
but
do
I
that,
think he's
but-
A tier. What do you
He's
think?
A tier
He's
below
A tier.
below Brunson.
I'll say S. I mean, I would even make the argument that you could put him above Jalen Brunson, but he just doesn't have the sample size.
Yeah, no.
So, fine, we'll put him in A tier below
Yeah.
Brunson.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And then James Harden.
James Harden, man.
He was decent. He was actually decent, except for his stinker in Game 7.
And that's the typical James Harden we all know
Yeah.
and love
Well,
and adore.
I still think he's B tier, and he's above
Butler.
Butler,
That's it. Yeah, literally.
and maybe Cat
I would put him just below Jamal Murray because I feel
above
like
Cat. I don't know.
I feel like Jamal Murray and James Harden had very similar first round series, except Jamal Murray showed up in Game 7,
Right.
and James Harden didn't show up in Game 7. And I think Cat would have been above Harden if we did this before the Eastern Conference Finals. But he was so damn bad in that Pacers series. It's so hard for me to put him above.
I still put James Harden below Cat.
Yeah.
So it's up to you then.
Yeah, that's where I would put him. I think Cat was more instrumental, but he did have stinkers.
Okay, that's fair.
But I'm fine with Harden below Cat.
But yeah, I mean, we did see a bit of a renaissance here with James Harden.
Yeah,
So
the whole season.
Shout out to him. I'm curious to see what happens next season.
Yeah.
If the Clippers make any other ancillary moves, we get a full season with Kawhi Leonard. That's obviously a big, important factor.
Yes.
So we're about 25 minutes in. We're making good time right now. I say we just do the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
real
Yeah,
quick,
please.
Because, I mean,
Knock 'em
my
out.
Lord, they're terrible.
Where do you want to put them?
We'll start off with Bam Adebayo.
Put him in C.
Yeah, I feel like Bam was just really not on his game, but I still think he was better than Triple J.
That's fine.
Because, again, there's not much you can do when you're going up against a team like that.
Yeah.
So,
I'll put Tyler Hero in C as well.
No, he was better. He might be
wasn't that
below
good.
below Jimmy Butler.
let me look up Hero stats.
Like
No,
highest.
Tyler Hero didn't play that good in the playoffs. He played good in the play-in games. Playoff games.
Yeah, in the play. I mean, those were technically points.
Do you wanna count
postseason
that?
games? It only says 4 games and on StatMuse.
Yeah.
He averaged 18, 3, and 2
Yeah, no.
in 4 games.
As your first option, that's not good.
But again,
He's
like,
supposed to be a shooter, scorer.
but your first option was shipped off for Andrew Wiggins within like a month before the playoffs. So it's kind of hard for him to take up that role when this roster solely relied on Jimmy being there.
That's on him, man. I put him in C.
Okay, fair enough.
The highest C.
I think he should
Definitely
go.
doesn't deserve B tier.
I think he should
We're
go.
crazy.
I think he should go above Şengün then.
Yeah.
I disagree
Yes.
completely.
No. Above Şengün.
Completely. You guys are bugging if you put him above Şengün. Are you kidding me? Şengün probably averaged 18 and a bunch of other things. Blocks, steals, assists,
That is true.
and rebounds.
So where do you
I
want
mean,
to put him then,
you-
Gio?
Definitely below Mobley.
In between
Okay.
Mobley and Garland,
All
I'm
right.
fine with that.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Because I think if Garland was healthy, he would have had a better postseason than Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Do you?
But there's not much he can do, really.
Yeah.
Can we knock off Orlando too?
We'll come back to that. We're doing alternate between
Oh,
East and
yeah.
West.
Orlando's the same thing.
So what do you want to do with the West, Geo?
Let's go OKC.
Okay, I mean, SGA
Is the S tier.
1,000% S tier.
Yeah.
I have to put him above Jokic at
Those-
this current moment in
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been outstanding. I think he has the most points across the first 2 finals games ever.
Oh, wow. 38, 34,
He
right?
broke Allen Iverson's record.
Ooh, wow.
So,
And AI dropped, I think, 45 in game 1.
yeah, but he only
Really?
has like 20 something in game 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out SGA, man. He's outside of the occasional flopping here and there, he is a fantastic player. He's sealing his legacy and building it even more.
Yeah.
The real question is, where the heck does Jalen Williams go?
This is hard.
Oh, this is actually hard.
I think he goes smack in between.
He's been the most confusing player to rank.
He goes in between Cat and Jamal Murray.
I agree. I was going to say the exact same thing.
He goes in
B
between.
tier in between those two, 100%. I think Jamal Murray was definitely better than
100%.
And-
And Cat maybe was a little more crappier than Jalen Williams.
I might even put Cat above J-Dub, but honestly, J-Dub is still playing, and he's
Exactly.
he's critical to his team's success.
The thing that broke it for me was that J-Dub had a great conference finals against Minnesota.
yeah.
That could be a reason of why Minnesota was bad, but at the end of the day, Cat's 7 foot 260. He should have just been bumping bodies with Miles Turner all series, but he's soft. He doesn't like the contact.
All right, he was injured, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's always going to be banged up, but I think Jalen Williams has been better.
Okay.
What
that's
you
fair.
saw in Game 2 of the finals and what you saw in the Western Conference Finals, we'll put him there. So
I
maybe
agree.
that it was tough, but we wound up finding an easy place for him.
Yeah.
So let's do Orlando now. Kind of the same habits last year, man. Just the lack of outside shooting from Franz Wagner. And, obviously Paolo did whatever he could. So where do we want to put these two? Let's
Start with Paulo, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
C tier.
I think
I
low
think-
B.
I think we should put Paolo in B.
Oh, think, though?
below Jimmy.
I think below Jimmy.
I think he's been the worst.
Yeah.
For not the worst, but like in the B tier. I think
yeah, below Jimmy.
I think it was better than Jimmy. I would put him in between Jimmy and Harden.
That's fine.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we
with
should.
it.
It's fine.
Because Paolo did play better as a first option than Jimmy Butler did against
second.
Timberwolves. Yeah. Well, remember, Jimmy
Fair.
Butler was playing like the first option.
He
and he
was.
got outplayed by Potts. So that's another.
Well,
like,
he's trying to be that facilitator guy. If you
Right.
saw the way he was playing. You know.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
he was doing that in Miami, and he was playing way better than he was now.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
playing injured since the Knicks series in 2023 when he rolled his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of that no excuses thing, right?
Yeah. Fair
We've
enough.
seen you drop 40 in a playoff game with
He's
a bum
not the same
ankle.
player.
It's not. It's really sad.
Yeah.
You know, it sucks, but it is what it is. Franz Wagner, I think, should go in C tier.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But where do we want to put him? He's a little tough to place.
He might be in between Mobley and Hero.
He's low C.
I was thinking that, but I
Mid-C?
also think you could put him below Garland.
I think
Okay.
he's mid to
That's
low
okay.
C. Yeah.
I-
That's a good spot.
Better than Bam.
I think I'm in agreement with Anthony putting him in between Mobley and Tyler
Mobley
Hero.
and Tyler Hero. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, we'll put him there. So in goes Franz Wagner. So we have 4 teams left, 2 in the East and 2 in the West.
We have
Leo?
5.
We have 5. Oh, yeah,
3
because
East.
3 East.
Yep, 2
I forgot about that, yeah. So
What do I need to pick here?
pick a
East?
West. Wait, how many East teams do we have? We have 3 East teams. You
Pick
know,
an
let's
East.
knock out another East team.
Let's go with the Pacers.
Indiana Pacers. Let's start with Siakam.
Yeah.
Siakam is an interesting one. Obviously, won conference finals MVP.
Yeah.
Played very well in all 3 series and really took that leap in games 2, 4, and 6 against the Knicks. Wasn't
wanna put him
particularly
in
good
tier.
in the odd numbered games.
Yeah.
So I would definitely put Siakam in A tier. He's between Brunson and Kawhi. Hallie would be S tier.
No, wait. Hallie's
We'll get to
definitely not
Hallie.
S tier.
We'll get to Hallie in a bit.
Yeah.
But Siakam is low A tier. He's below Kawhi. And then not Brunson.
We'll get,
Halliburton.
We'll get to Hallie after. I need
Okay.
to figure out where I'm putting Siakam. Because I think I would make the argument that he should go above Kawhi.
Yeah, he goes above Kawhi.
I don't think so.
That's what I said.
It's tough because like Kawhi didn't play well in game 7.
And there's more of a sample size with Siakam. That's why.
Right, yeah. You have 17 games of
I'm
Siakam
okay with
here.
it. Yeah.
Because, I think, because remember, you guys were debating on even putting Kawhi in B tier.
Yeah.
So I think Siakam goes right in the middle. I think the leap he's taken this
fine.
year has been amazing. Now Tyrese Halliburton enters the equation.
Yeah.
So you said S tier. You said A
That's
tier.
why- You really think S tier? You're insane.
He
for
could be
that.
the highest A tier.
He's the highest A tier.
The highest A tier.
I'll give that to
I
him.
would make the argument that he should go bottom S tier.
That's insane.
Bottom
I
S
think
tier
so.
is fine.
Bottom S tier is
It's
insane.
because
He's
what-
not on those guys' levels. Let's just make that clear.
but
not even close.
Here's the problem though when it comes to Tyrese Halliburton. Individually is nowhere near the level of Shea. He's nowhere near the level of Jokic. He's nowhere near the level of Giannis.
Exactly. So we're judging individually. We're not judging off
However,
of team success.
We're judging this individually in the playoffs. And in the world's biggest moments in the NBA playoffs, he has hit every single shot he has been asked to hit.
Right.
With no timeout, with no stoppage of play, with
Right.
no nothing. He out clutched and outplayed the clutch player of the year in the conference finals. So
So he can go above him in A tier.
I
There's no way in any world he can be an S tier.
I think he should be an S tier. I think he should be the absolute lowest S tier possible.
There's just no way.
It's
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Why,
My own
though?
conscience is screaming at
I
me
would-
saying, there's no way Tyrese Halliburton is one level below Giannis Antetokounmpo.
You know
There's
what?
just no way.
I'm fine with the highest A tier.
Highest A tier.
I'm
He's
fine
better
with
than
that.
Brunson. I'll give it to you. Even though I can make the argument Brunson has been better. But I'll give it to Halliburton. He has more success in terms of team success, clutch shots. All that stuff is adding to his resume. So I'll put him above Brunson on the A
Yeah,
tier.
that's fine.
all right. I heavily disagree, but I guess
We got to
put him-
keep the international players only in S tier. That is why.
No American players allowed.
No American
Can we
players
just-
allowed.
Can we just move Siakam up then from the conference
No.
final? That's great.
Oh, man.
But okay, fine. We'll put
Yeah, he's the
Halliburton
highest
there.
A tier.
It's fine. It's okay. Even though he's an S tier in my book.
Bro, he had 14 points in both game 1 and 2. Come on.
He hit a game-winning shot in the
but
NBA
that-
Finals.
Look,
But
that was lucky.
The
bro.
finals game is.
How is it lucky if he's
Hold
done it
on.
the previous
All right,
four times?
he has the clutch gene. Fine.
the clutch
he has the
gene.
clutch gene, but he still had 14
The
points.
NBA game is 48 minutes, not 1 second.
I understand that, but at the end of the day, what
Yeah.
minute is the most important?
Well,
100%, you're
but
right.
48 minutes are important just as much as the 1 minute.
I understand. We put Jokic and SGA up there, and they had games where they had sub 15 points. So,
Yeah, but Halliburton does that very consistently. He's probably
Yeah.
averaging like
The
18 points in the
inconsistency
playoffs.
for Halliburton.
because he's not a score first player.
I understand
That's the
that,
thing.
but that's why he also can't be an S tier. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
All those
there's-
guys are score first players.
Jokic isn't.
He averages 30. a
Jokic
game.
had to because the roster stinks.
Yeah.
So, but Halliburton did have some big games. He had the triple-double in Game 4 against the
Right.
Knicks. So, at the worst, he's high A tier, but he's an S tier for me.
Oh,
So, fair enough. So, Antoine, we have the Lakers and the Wolves, 2 first-round series matchups. Pick one of them.
Let's do Lakers.
The LA Lakers. So, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, obviously, the fact that we're even talking about this as them as teammates is still just crazy to me. I hate Nico Harrison so much. But they were both kind of banged up going into this
Yes.
playoffs. Hard to gauge. They were dumped in 5 by Minnesota.
Yeah.
Who do we want to start with?
Luka.
Yeah, I mean they're both kind of average. Like we could go C tier for both.
I think Luka was D tier, bro.
Let's look up his stats right now.
Okay.
All right, maybe not.
I understand
If
that.
you look up the stats,
Because I
it's
think
probably
like,
going to show otherwise. But based on how he played, like if you watched the games, he was bad.
he averaged 30 points. So I understand what you mean.
But like
He shot 45% from the field as a guard.
defensively as well, like if you just looked at his body language, that to me was way off. He had a game where he went
Well,
crazy
yeah.
from shooting. He
I mean,
was shooting great.
This was a series that they had no chance because I don't know. I still don't know why I picked the Lakers because they had no big man
Yeah, I don't know.
going up against freaking Randall and Rudy
yeah,
Gobert.
both of you picked them.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
kind of stupid.
I was the only one.
So I would put Luke. You wanted him D tier.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think he
little. That's a
I
little.
think you should go C tier.
Yeah, C tier.
No,
is good.
C tier is
High C
fine.
tier.
I think he should go above Şengün.
I agree.
Yeah,
Even though he
fine.
lost, I still think he was fantastic offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Şengün just wasn't great on both ends. He was just good.
he was. Yeah, that's
So where do we put LeBron?
good. What did he do?
I have no idea.
Let's just look up the stat. I mean, these games were months ago at this point.
LeBron James.
LeBron James. He averaged 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah, he was taking more of a starting to come back to me now. He kind of took more of a playmaking role. He scored 19 to 20 in every single game. Had really good game 3. I think we could put LeBron in B tier.
Yeah,
Okay,
you could put him above Jimmy and Paolo,
you can put him in B tier. Yeah,
Where though?
Jimmy and Paolo.
right in between Harden and Paolo.
I think he's better than J Dub,
I agree.
Yes.
but
At
not
the
as
end-
good as Jamal Murray.
At the end of the day, it's LeBron James.
Yeah, you could put him between Jamal
For the
Murray and
third-
J-Dub.
for the third straight postseason, man's been
Yeah.
outplayed by Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
Absolutely diabolical. That's crazy work.
that's crazy.
But yeah, I think LeBron, you have to go a little bit more, just the LeBron tax in it.
Yeah.
So that's fine. So Gio, we got 2 East teams left.
Yeah,
Celtics and Pistons. Who do you want?
let's go Pistons.
Detroit Pistons. Part of me really wants to put Cade super high on this tier list. I thought he was outstanding in the first round.
Cade would be the best B tier, the lowest A tier.
I would be willing to put Cade in A tier.
I don't think I would be willing to do that.
I mean, Cade in the first round averaged 25, 9, and 8.
That's
25,
phenomenal.
9, and 8. You know what? It's really good.
Yeah, man.
What did he shoot from the field?
From the field, he shot 43% as a point guard.
It's not that good.
He shot 18% from 3, but he's not a 3-point shooter, so
18.
I don't want to hold him to it. So, but you're averaging 25 and 9 against that Knicks team.
I think just because he shot 18% from 3
He's not a 3-point shooter.
doesn't matter.
He's not a 3-point shooter though. Like Giannis shot like garbage from 3
It's the same thing.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Same
Same
thing.
thing with Giannis.
But I guarantee you, Cade took more shots from 3 than Giannis
Let's
did.
see the attempts. So Cade shot 18% from 3 on 4.5 attempts
Per game.
per game.
That's quite a bit.
Giannis averaged, let's see, from 3. Remember, Giannis also played 1 less game. Giannis shot 20% from 3 on 1 attempt per game. So he didn't really
Right.
shoot that much. But at least Cade had the confidence to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
And the
didn't
fact
make
that
anything.
the fact that you guys didn't give the Pistons a chance at all, and they managed to get 2 games, ironically both at the Garden. I think Cade should go bottom B tier below Kawhi.
Bottom A tier, you said?
I'm sorry, bottom A tier. My fault.
I think high B tier. Right above
Oh,
Donovan
it's down to
Mitchell.
you.
Right above,
I'm fine with the highest B tier.
yeah.
Highest B tier.
Yeah.
All right, I lose out again. Oh
Yeah,
well.
he's not A. It's his first
Yeah.
postseason. I mean, playoffs. So, but he did really good.
Yeah, and then basically we just had to decide who was the second option on the Pistons when we did the X Factor tier list. And honestly, Tobias Harris played really well against the Knicks.
He did.
He was their second best player every single night.
I'll put him above Mobley and right below Alperen Şengün. That's what I'll put him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
obviously,
fine.
Tobias Harris isn't going to average your usual like 25 plus.
Not anymore.
But let's see, Harris stats in the playoffs. Okay, Tobias Harris. I forgot the There's like 16 different Harrises in the NBA.
Gary Harris.
Yeah. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. I mean, that's really efficient for Tobias Harris. 48% from the field.
That's really good.
44% from three.
Yeah.
And he made every single free throw he took.
Wow.
So Tobias Harris is 1,000% a B tier this playoffs. Where are we putting him, though?
B tier, so I'd put him below Jada, below Cat, below Harden,
Right above Paolo.
maybe above Paolo.
Yeah,
That's a tough one.
above Paolo.
Yeah, because Harden had a better first round.
Yeah.
Paolo wasn't great. And I think the fact that Tobias Harris played this well as a third option or a second option, depending on what
Yeah.
the night was, I would put him in between Harden and Paolo.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So there you go, guys. The polar bear in Arlington, Texas of the tier list. Crazy how he made it. But look, got to give Bro credit. He does show up
Yeah.
in the playoffs. So, all right, let's get into the Minnesota Timberwolves, the last West team. Who do you want to start with?
They were all so good leading up to the conference
know, right?
finals.
That's what sucks. It's kind of like the Knicks because Brunson and Cat were good, and then it all just kind of went.
So then they both get taken out of the A tier and go into B tier.
I don't know, though.
That's because that's what happens when you have a stinker in the conference finals.
The problem is that both of them were so incredible in their first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I thought they actually played better than both Brunson and Cat in the first and second rounds.
Well, yeah, but not. I know, but
No,
conference
not better. It was
finals.
close.
It's tough, yeah. So where do you want to put Ant?
I would put Ant
Ant's above Cade.
IB above Cade.
Ant's above Cade.
He's not A. You want to put him in A?
I was thinking of putting him below Cade, but
No way.
we could put him above Cade.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
He's above Cade.
Absolutely above Cade.
Randall is below Cade.
Randall is honestly, I want to put Randall in the A tier.
I
Below
kind of,
Kawhi.
I would put Randall in the A tier.
I want to put Randall in the A tier.
I thought
below
Randall
Kawhi.
outplayed Ant in
I
a
think
good
so.
chunk of these games.
I agree.
Ant had one explosion against the Lakers, but Randall was like playing first option type
Under
basketball.
I agree.
under Kawhi.
Right under Kawhi, I think that's where Randall should go this
that-
postseason.
That's okay.
I'm debating
fine with
if he
that.
didn't have those 2 stinkers against the Thunder, I would put him over Kawhi.
Yeah.
But I don't know because like Kawhi didn't play good in Game 7.
I understand that, but the games where Kawhi did play good, he played really good.
He was outstanding. Yeah, that's
Well,
fair. And
so,
Kawhi also defends a lot better.
Yeah.
So we'll put Randall in A tier. So
I'm okay with that.
if I had told you, Gio, at the start of the playoffs that Julius Randle would be higher on a tier list than Anthony Edwards, how would you react?
I mean, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah,
I'll be very surprised.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, not too shabby. And lastly, we have the
Celtics.
Boston Celtics. Really unfortunate the way this season ended, man. This team had such a good opportunity to repeat for the first time since 2018. I guess we'll start with Jaylen Brown because he
Yeah.
played every game. He just had surgery today
Yeah.
for his torn meniscus. He'll be ready by training camp, so prayers to Jaylen Brown. Based off of the information and everything like that, where do you want to place him?
C.
Yeah. He's the highest C tier.
I would go B.
Maybe like below Jimmy.
I think he should go above Jimmy.
Above Jimmy.
I
that's
honestly,
it.
to be quite honest with you, I'd probably put him in between Harden and Tobias Harris.
That's fine. Yeah. That's literally where I would go probably.
I'm okay with it, but
Where do you
I
want
just
to
don't
put
feel like Jimmy. I mean, not Jimmy, but Jaylen Brown did that.
He was okay.
Like he was injured. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah. He wasn't like he was last year.
Yeah.
he wasn't his full self.
average 22, 7, and 4.
Yeah, you can put him above Harden. Yeah.
Above Harden? Do you want to put him above Harden?
Yeah. Above Harden.
Yeah, I agree. I think the games he played, the first game without Tatum was incredible. Him and Derek White just were
Yeah.
unconscious. So, but I would put him below Cat because Cat outplayed every pretty much Celtic in that
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
And lastly, the most heartbreaking of them all is Jason Tatum. At just 19 years old, he tears his Achilles. I
mean,
still feel so bad for him.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna hate not watching him next season.
Yeah.
Where do you want to place him though?
I mean,
JT.
He's a high B tier.
It's tough because like
He's
in the,
below Anthony Edwards. I'll tell you that.
He is.
He's below Cade even as well. If you ask me.
He's probably between Cade and Mitch.
had a great first round.
Yeah.
Had a great first 36 minutes against the Knicks in games 1 and 2. Game 3 he was great, but it's falling back into old habits. It almost kind of makes me wonder if he's always had a lower leg issue is why he doesn't drive to the rim because you have to be explosive to do that.
Right.
That's why he always takes the step back threes. So I agree in the sense of B tier. I think at the absolute worst, he should be above Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So
Yeah.
is that where we're going to place him in
think
between
so.
Mitchell and Cade?
Yeah. That's
All right.
literally the same spot. I would
So, Unlucky, Jalen Green. You were the only one.
D tier.
Honestly, I don't like loneliness. Should we just move Jaren Jackson and Bam Adebayo down to D tier?
I think so.
Both of them?
Yeah.
I think
They were not.
They were both better than Jalen Green. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah.
But we'll move them down there. And I think this is a pretty good tier list, to be quite honest with you.
I think we did good here.
Yeah. Obviously, credit to the 3 MVP candidates up top. Didn't really expect it to be anything else. If you could make one change for yourself, what would it be?
Nothing. I think everything is perfectly placed, except might want to move Cat a little higher. Other than that, I'm fine with it.
I would move Cat above J-Dub and LeBron.
I would keep him where he is.
I'm fine with it, but I agree with that, Anthony.
I think below Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. I kind of want to swap Garland and Hero
Garland and Hero.
Garland and Hero.
in C tier.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, that's
Do
fine.
it. Do it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I don't like Darius Garland disrespect. It's fine. But yeah, obviously I would love to have Cade and Halliburton each move up a tier. But look, man, I gave a great case for Halliburton in S tier.
You just like the underdogs, man. I respect it.
Thank you. I mean, I root for the Nets. We're
The
always
thing,
underdogs.
the thing with Hallie is that he's not putting up the numbers those top 3
Not
guys
even
are
close.
putting up.
Yeah.
But the counterpoint to that is that all 3 of those guys up top haven't had the clutch performances like Hallie has.
I mean, you could say SGA has,
But not like he missed the game winner. He missed the
Yeah,
game
he
to
did.
put it to bed.
I mean, that was one
against
moment.
Halliburton.
That was one moment. But
So-
usually SGA, he'll take control of a fourth quarter. Usually, you
Right,
would expect
yeah.
that. But
Halliburton has done it to both of those guys. Obviously,
Yeah.
they didn't play Jokic, but
if this was a clutch player list, Halliburton would be number 1.
clear and obviously, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is the tier list. Let us know down in the comments if you would make any changes. Who would be in your S tier? And do we have any sort of final questions, comments, concerns, thoughts before we head into the outro?
No, let's
We're
roll.
good.
All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of of episode number 61 of the Floor Spacer podcast. Gio,
Yo.
give us our G of the week and give us the word for the people to comment at home.
G of the week. I'm gonna say shout out to Cole. He's an intern that we have at Maven, and he just joined one of our workouts today, and he got absolutely obliterated. But
I didn't ask.
credit to
Oh,
him
wow.
though. He's the G of the.
I don't care.
You're just jealous because you want to come to a Maven.
I don't
workout.
want to come.
It's okay.
I don't want to
It's okay.
come fake workout.
Don't worry, I have the perfect clapback
What?
because I'm going to give my T of the week to James Johnson, who has more finals points than Jalen Brunson.
Dude,
Let's go. Let's clap it up. Clap it up for the boy.
he's roasted.
I don't care.
So,
But yeah,
Cole-
shout out to Cole, man.
shout out Cole.
Okay.
We have no idea who you are, but
Yeah.
shout out to Cole. And what's the word for people to comment at home?
Let's comment White Sox because that's what I'm wearing today.
Like
White
the
Sox?
team?
Like
the team?
Yeah, team or just like literal White Sox.
Yeah, so
Okay.
let's do it like the team with the X.
Okay, yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
The X has pizzazz.
Yeah, it does.
So shout out the White Sox. Comment down below, even though the White Sox are dog. Although I think
are.
isn't the new Pope a White Sox fan? I think
could be.
I think his brother
Either
said he
that
was a
or
White Sox
Cubs
fan.
fan.
So you can comment Pope or White Sox, whatever you choose.
Yeah, I just find it funny how the Cubs are like the main team in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Yet the White Sox have both Obama and the new Pope. Pope
Yeah.
Leo.
Yeah, I know.
So that's
That is
pretty
true.
fun.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, obviously, Game 4 is tonight.
Game 3.
Well, I'm talking about it's Friday.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
Game 4 is tonight. So we'll
Listen, I hope Cole beats you in every workout.
Dude, he's just mad. Don't
give him
worry.
time. But yeah, Game 4 is tonight. So couldn't really talk about it without delaying the show any longer. So we'll talk about that next week. More than likely, the finals will be over by the time next episode comes out.
Yeah.
I would be honestly shocked if this goes to 7 at this rate, but we'll find that out when Game 3 happens. And any other news, we'll kind of keep an eye on it. We have some good episodes planned for the rest of the month. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe, drop a like. Get us to 6K by the end of June. We're just under 200 away from getting there. If you're on Spotify audio platforms, give us 5 stars, answer the polls, all that good stuff. Follow our socials at Floor Spacer Pod on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything like that. Personal descriptions are here. Get Gio to 1 million Instagram followers. Answer the polls and everything like that. Join the Discord server. And guys, do we have anything else to say before we get on out of here for the week?
Let's go watch the game.
Let's go watch the game. Indeed, we're about to watch Game 3, so we'll, this is a bit of a time travel episode. We'll see what happens. We hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching. We love you all endlessly. We do not like Nico Harrison. Never have and never will. And we'll see you all next week in episode 62. Peace out.